Welcome to the Junkyard Love Podcast.
At what age do we learn how to have better conversations? At what age do we learn to have better conversations with ourselves?
Yodel-a-hee hoodle. What's up, my doodles? This is Jake, and welcome to the Junkyard Love Podcast. The podcast where every time before the episode and the conversation gets going, I drop a little nugget of information or new knowledge or thought-provoking little thing or article or book or audio clip. Today, that audio clip is in the form of something I made myself with the help of my friend Vance Ossie. He made this beat just on his iPad for fun. He sent it over to me. I slowed it down, I sped it up, I cut it up, I added some Alan Watts vocal samples and samples from his lectures and kind of made a little storyline of it and added some Willy Wonka bits. It's pretty fun. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it makes you think a little bit. Maybe eventually I'll throw it up on my Bandcamp. But anyway, here's this episode. Drink some dang water. Sit down, get comfy, do your thing, get present wherever you're at. Everybody take a big old deep belly breath. Enjoy the creation I made with my friend Vance, and then enjoy the episode with my friend Rikki. Cheers.
Light is showing, so the danger must be growing.
She was a bad egg.
Where's she gone?
Where all the other bad eggs go. Down the garbage chute.
So then, when you die, you're not going to have to put up with everlasting non-existence, because that's not an experience. A lot of people are afraid that when they die, they're going to be locked up in a dark room forever and sort of undergo that. But one of the most interesting things in the world, this is a yoga, this is a way of realization. Try and imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Think about that. It's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen to you. You will find out, among other things, it'll pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep? That was when you were born. You can't have an experience of nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum. So after you're dead, the only thing that can happen is the same experience, or the same sort of experience as when you were born. In other words, we all know very well that after people die, other people are born. And they're all you. Only you can only experience it one at a time. Everybody is I. You all know you are you. And wheresoever beings exist throughout all galaxies, it doesn't make any difference. You are all of them. And when they come into being, that's you coming into being. You know that very well. Only you don't have to remember the past. In the same way, you don't have to think about how you work your thyroid gland or whatever else it is in your organism. You don't have to know how to shine the sun. You just do it. Like you breathe. Isn't it? Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it? You never learned, but you're this miracle? Well, the point is that from a strictly physical, scientific standpoint, this organism is a continuous energy with everything else that's going on. And if I am my foot, I am the sun.
Now, why don't they show stuff like that on TV?
I don't know.
How long does it take you to edit an episode?
So, like, once I actually sit down to edit it, it's probably like, sometimes it literally takes like 6 hours, but it's because I'll like let it play, kind of like walk around the room and I'll take some notes. I do it like in a very ADHD manner.
Yeah.
So it takes me a while, but a lot of times it's like I don't edit it the day of. So sometimes right now I have 3 podcasts that I need to edit. So sometimes I get like a little behind. I'm like, okay, I need to crank through this one. But because I'm also, when I edit them, I'm training I'm trying to like learn as an audio engineer and stuff too.
Yeah.
And so I'm like trying out different filters and trying out like different EQs and stuff on people's voices, like trying to make people's voices.
I mean, you're
better.
talking gibberish to me right now, but amazing.
Yeah. I do that too.
Yeah. But I think it's so cool. Like, this stuff is so hard.
Yeah. I wanted to, like, video is something that I want to do. I don't have it set up now, but it's like, I was going to wait till I had video to even start it. But
This podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My cousin does that. He like videotapes himself while he does his podcast episodes.
I like
They talk about sports. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it adds this whole other dynamic. Like, I don't fucking know video. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I know audio. Like, I could figure out video.
Do you know anybody
I
who
don't know.
does video?
Yeah, I know a few friends who do video.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can get somebody to help me out with it. I'm just kind of at that point where I don't want to make it too much on myself, because then I'll get behind. Like, if I'm like, oh gosh, I have 6 podcasts that I need to edit and they're all video, and I know that video would take me longer than audio. So it's something I'm working towards. I'm just not there yet.
Oh my God, I'm the biggest procrastinator, so I get it.
Yeah, I just work on a bunch of shit at once. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm not working on that now, but I'm gonna get back around to it. I just have my random wall over there of just things I'm half working on.
At least you write it down.
Yeah, writing it down is good.
You're very organized. You're like inspiring me to be organized.
Are you not organized?
No, I'm like I'm homeless.
You're homeless?
Oh my God, this is. Yeah, I'm homeless. Yeah, I'm living out of a suitcase.
You're such a bum.
I am a bum. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I was telling you before. So we're recording now, by the way, if you didn't see. I will actually pause that, though, so you don't have to look at the...
What? You're so funny. I don't care if I'm looking at anything.
I know that I am easily distracted. Dude, there's a window behind your head, and I'm not kidding. There will be birds and squirrels that will distract me in the middle of my conversation.
Oh, yeah, I'm so easily distracted.
Yeah. So
actually. But
give you less things to look at back here.
there's so many things to look at in here. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's organized chaos.
It is. But yeah.
Hello, Rikki Hall.
Hello.
Cheers from across the table.
Cheers. I hope people can...
Clink.
Yeah, clink.
We're wearing masks, too.
Mm-hmm.
What's your view on the masks?
I love the mask.
You love the masks?
Wearing some more. I love the mask.
I hate how it separates up so much. To me,
Well,
I
yeah.
know it gets so much more complicated, but to me, it's like, that's fine just to wear it.
Do you hate the mask a little bit?
I don't enjoy the mask, but I am someone who, like, if it's going to help us, it's going to help us feel more comfortable around each other. It's going to help, like, because I'm not working. I could stay in my basement right now and be fine, but, like, there's people who are serving and people who are, like, working in supermarkets, and, like, I don't want them to be stressed out, so I'm going to wear a mask. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working at the coffee shop right now and I have to wear one. It's hard. It's hard to wear. It's hard to wear it while you're working, but at the same time, it does help me, like, not touch my face. Yeah,
that's true.
Little stuff. It does make me feel more safe.
Yeah.
It does.
It's like kind of like having blankets on.
I know it doesn't help you from getting it, but it helps stop the spread. But I'm like, I feel so much safer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a something. Like, it's such a pandemic is this, I mean, it's a tiny virus that you can't see. Like, a virus is inherently scary. So it's just like if we can feel like we're doing something to help ourselves out a little bit.
And to go out to restaurants and to have, those things open.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
What was the pandemic like for you? Like man, how long has it been now? It's been like 4 months, 5 months or something since it was March, I think, when everything shut down.
Yeah.
What was it like for you? Like, what were you doing in March?
It was so bizarre. I remember visiting home in Portland, and I remember seeing it on the news, and I was like talking to my cousin because I was staying at my cousin's house, and I was like, is this something that we need to worry about? I was like, oh shit, like, okay. And he is in Afghanistan right now. He's in the military, and so like he's amazing, he's so smart, and like such a badass. And he's like, yeah, like I think we should worry about this. I was like, well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see
what everybody around me does.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm like, whatever. Like, there's something every year, and then I was trying really hard to see my boyfriend in Canada while he was working over there, and I had flown over there, and that's when everything shut down, like sports, everything. And I was like, holy shit.
That was when it was like weird.
Yeah, and I was in a different country, and I was like, am I stuck here? Like, holy shit. But I don't know. I'm like scared of everything. Anxiety central, so it scared me.
I feel you, man.
I'm still scared.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, mine fluctuates up and down. Like at the beginning, I was super terrified, and I was like, oh my God, I was avoiding news. Like I was like, oh, like don't watch news. It's scaring me. But I was doing my own stupid research though. I was like, as good as it is to avoid news, I would be like, okay, I do want to make sure I know like some of the truth.
Yeah, you want to educate yourself.
So sometimes I would just like dive deep an hour on Reddit. I'm like, what am I doing? Or like watching some, like, because a lot of like more serious people, if you listen to their podcasts, like at the beginning, they're like, get the fucking doors, don't talk to anybody, don't open your Amazon packages. And it's like,
yeah, wipe down your food from the grocery store. And I'm like, okay, like cleansing everything, like so nervous. But like, there's so many things that go into this. And like, I'm not trying to bring up politics, but like some conservatives, still think it's fake. And I'm like, there's people that are dying. And it's just a rabbit hole. Yeah. Like on media wise, it's a rabbit hole.
Dude, I mean, our town is such an interesting like corner because we do have a lot of like small town. We have a lot of like left and right and just very eccentric different types of people.
Washington, Oregon is definitely, yeah.
We're all over the place. And like seeing like I mean, we're not from the same town, but are you from Kalama or Woodland?
I'm from Woodland.
Woodland, yeah. So like small towns, kind of the same like area. We're a little far apart, but I'd imagine that on your Facebook you have a pretty diverse.
Where did you go to?
Kelso.
You went to Kelso. Yeah, high school.
Kelso.
Okay.
But it's just like just seeing so many different types of different opinions and seeing everybody argue is just, it breaks my heart, honestly. Like I know. I get angry sometimes and I'm like, you guys are being so stupid. And then I'm like, but I don't even know.
Positive. I'm the person that argues with people, and it's so unfortunate because I'm like, I get mad at myself. I'm like, it's not worth it. And then I'm like on my Facebook, like arguing with something because I feel so passionately about like equality right now, like the Civil War, like there's going to be like a Civil War. Everyone's saying like the Civil Rights Movement. It's so important, and like mass, COVID, like Trump. I'm like, this town, this is not the place for me right now. It's not.
No, I think that, I mean, it sucks to argue with people on Facebook. Like it's like that sentence just sucks inherently. But I do think it's good. It's a good time to stand up for something. Like if you really think that you can like help someone's perspective or like get them to see something new. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that, like I worked at Weyerhaeuser for 5 years. There's a lot of people in our town that haven't left Cowlitz County ever. And that's not a bad thing. That does not make you dumb. That doesn't make you like a worse person.
People want to be here.
Yeah, but you have also not really been forced to question your perspective very much. And now with the internet, different perspectives are like thrown at you in order to get outrage and clicks.
Yep.
So we're just at like a growing point with society. And I just, to me, it saddens me to see like small towns not connecting. Like we're getting just a wedge thrown in us because of the news media, and it's really
oh my God, I was just looking up like 9/11 yesterday, and there was like this video, and I was watching it, and everyone's like, it was just so crazy how we came together as a country at a really like a crazy time, and like this one's dividing us so hard, like severely, and it's shocking, like to me, that this isn't bringing us together.
No,
other countries, like look at like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, like they're like, let's beat this fucking virus. Like let's work together. Let's shut everything down. But like honestly, our government, Trump specifically, isn't helping.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, and they'll like support him like to their death. And he's said so many things. And I'm like, I don't, if Obama said anything near the things that he says, I'm like,
so that's what I'm saying. Like it's so simple. Like there's so many people who are like, how do you not see how ridiculous it is? But it is so weird to me. Like, what is fucking going on?
And I'm not saying it's just Trump either.
No, I know, but I know what you mean. So, because when I say Trump too, a lot of times I'm generalizing, which sometimes you have to do just to have conversation, right? When I say Trump, I'm like, oh, like Trump supporters. I'm not trying to like target specifically like people. I'm not saying all Trump supporters are this way or whatever. Yeah. But it's kind of just like a way of like carrying the conversation to where you can talk about kind of the people you know that you're talking about. Like there is, you know, with the people who we're arguing back against, who are saying kind of rude things. Yeah. It's just, I mean, we're both on both sides, I guess.
Yeah, I know. And there is two sides to everything. Even the protests in Portland, there's two sides. Mm-hmm. Yeah, rioting and vandalizing federal buildings is horrible. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be that bad egg in like a group. Of course. But if you actually look at the protests, they're peaceful. Yeah. And then like these federal police officers are coming in, tear gassing people.
Yeah, that's sketchy. That's weird.
Shooting you with rubber bullets. Like, this is like illegal. Yeah. It's illegal. And people like are trying to support it, but like once Trump violates the Constitution, it's okay, it's justified. But say Obama did it, it would be a whole nother conversation with conservatives. Yeah. It would be. I got in a fight with somebody last night about it, and I'm like, I don't know. It's sad that we have to fight for equality too. It's 2020.
Yeah, like, it's weird. It's weird to me. I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on? Why is our simulation breaking down here?
Simulation. Oh my God, a glitch in the simulation. I believe that.
I mean, everybody is turning against each other in such insane ways. And a lot of people are like, they care about the same things. They're just talking over each other's heads. They're like arguing the wrong subjects, but we're just having an inability to communicate. And I think it's a lot of like, technology has just changed shit so much that it's like really sparking us in some ways. Do you remember the first cell phone that you got?
Yeah. It was like a Nokia flip phone, I think.
Was it a flip phone?
Oh, no, it was a Samsung flip phone or something like that. Not Nokia. Nokia weren't flip phones.
Was there button? Because I'm trying to remember, because there was even before like the slider. Yeah, there was a flip before the slider.
It just told you the time on the front and flipped. And then I remember I got a Razor.
Those were so sick. They were so thin too.
So sick.
They were the thinnest thing.
I was like, oh my God.
Everybody had a hot pink Razor. I had male friends who had hot pink Razors. Yeah. Like it was just more popular.
Because you got them like, you like bought it off somebody or something. Like my cheap ass bought it off somebody. I was like, well.
You paid some chick to steal it from the locker room.
Yeah. I'm like, can I have this? Put my SIM card in it. I still have the same phone number from like 6th grade. I love that.
Oh, epic. I feel like I feel like a lot of people actually keep the same number now. It's more common, but there was a while where it's like, oh, you have AT&T and you're switching to Verizon, you got to lose your number.
I know.
That was a thing.
I have to get a new number when I go to Canada. I'm like, I've had this one forever.
Oh, I guess that makes sense though.
Kinda
it'd probably be more expensive.
Yeah, I have to get a Canadian plan.
Yeah, I mean, so I asked about, I always just like try to think of how long it's been, because it's 2007 was when the iPhone came out, like not that long ago. And like think about how different our lives are now, and like completely like controlled and ran and like optimized in so many cool ways, but like also weird ways by our phones and social media. Like our phones run everything.
We've gone through a lot.
Yeah. And like how old were you when you got your Razor? Or your first phone, the Motorola?
I was in 6th grade. How old are you in 6th grade?
That's pretty old.
Is that old?
No, that's pretty young.
Young. I remember when I got it for Christmas, and my mom was like, "This is for you," because I lived with my grandpa, and they're like, "This is for you and your grandpa to share." And my grandpa's like, "You can fucking have it." Like,
that's adorable.
I'm like, yeah, but I couldn't text on it like back then.
Do you think that you even wanted to text? Like, was texting even really a thing?
I remember like we wanted to, just because like it'd be funny to send a hey, but it costs money.
Yeah, like each individual one.
And then I remember I tried to buy like a ringtone, and my mom let me do it like on my birthday, and I bought like Shakira Hips Don't Lie, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
And then you're like trying to get your friends to call you, so you can just like, oh, what's that song playing? It's from My Pocket.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Why aren't ringtones like ringback tones? I always thought those were super cool too.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, I never did that.
I don't think I ever did it, but I always thought it was a cool idea. And I kind of wish that our ringtones, like, okay, I feel like ringtones aren't really that much of a thing now. And like, there's those people who have like Nickelback or Creed still somehow as their ringtone. Like, there's still those people, but otherwise,
which I think is really cool, because Creed is cool.
I'm all aboard Creed.
Okay, I used to love Creed.
don't I love Creed. Oh yeah, it's just so weird how it changes. Like, do you have a ringtone now? Or is it just the iPhone?
It's just the iPhone one. But God, you're making me want one.
I know.
Like, what do we need? What do we need? What song do we put on?
Okay, if you had to choose a song right now,
I don't know.
would it be a throwback? Or, I mean, but also then you kind of get into, like, Shaylee has a couple ringtones, and she has like a couple, like, I have a different one than Megan, and her mom has a different one than, like me, whatever, but she only has like 4. But she's kind of like she's a square, I think. You know, she's like the only one I know with the ringtone still.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I need to do
she's
that.
Trend-setting.
She's starting, and she's bringing it back.
All right, if you had to choose a ringtone right now, top of your head, what's going to be?
God, I think I'm in a really depressed mood lately, so I think I'm like something Billy Joel. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Vienna, like that's a great.
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, so that song from 13 going on 30. Have you seen that movie?
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Shaylee was watching it like a few months back, or I mean, it's probably been like a year now, but I was like kind of like texting on my phone, but kind of also watching it because it's not that bad of a movie. And then that song came on, and I went through like a stage of being super obsessed. I'd listen to it like multiple times a day.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'd heard it before, but I was
McKenna, my best friend, she got me on that song. Like, I'm not even thinking about that movie, but she's like, she plays that song when she's all depressed and like sad. And so we would listen to it in Hawaii all the time when we lived together, and she got me on it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I really like him. I mean, I've never like explored him a ton, but I think that he's one of like the master keyboard players, isn't he? Or like a piano player.
I'm pretty sure.
One
yeah.
of the legends, I think.
Yeah.
I should probably know that.
Oh my God, we're so young.
I know.
No, but yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah, so we need to
definitely that or a throwback for sure.
Yeah, it'd be. I don't know what mine would be right now.
I love Queen too. Queen's the best. Queen and Fleetwood Mac are like my favorite bands ever of all time.
Yeah, very nice. What do you remember like first getting into from them? Like, do you remember like the first Queen song or Fleetwood Mac song you heard?
My dad was really into Queen, and like we lived up in Ariel, so we always had a long drive, and he'd always play Queen like over and over again, like from age of 5 to like age 15, like just Queen or Aerosmith. But my mom always listened to Fleetwood Mac, so I think it's just like nostalgic to like my childhood.
Oh yeah.
So Fleetwood Mac, yeah, Stevie Nicks, my bitch.
That's my bitch.
That's my bitch.
It's interesting. I always liked Queen, but I was never like, anytime someone would be like obsessed with Bohemian Rhapsody, I'd be like, it seems like a long song. So I didn't get into it actually until the last couple years. I'm not kidding, but like I feel like once honestly, this is gonna sound corny, as like someone who should be on top of like Queen, like I should be like, I'm a musician, I should like have been obsessed with them forever. The movie is what got me kind of like more obsessed with them, like with Freddie Mercury.
I can say that, like,
yeah,
like the Elton John movie. I had never listened to Elton John.
So good.
Rocket Man.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, he's amazing. And I had never listened to his music before that. And then that one got me hooked. So I get it.
It sparked me more.
Yeah.
I watched it on a plane ride, just like, oh, I guess I'll watch this. Like I didn't really think much of it, and I was just like,
see what this is about.
So pumped. I was wishing that someone was next to me so I could be like, did you see this part? It's cool. Like that part where he plays in that club, and they have like that cool part where his feet are up off the ground. That's such a clever, wonderful scene.
Oh my God,
so cool.
I took my boyfriend to both of those movies, by the way.
Nice.
And I'm like crying at the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm crying because I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And Jack's like, what the fuck? Like, you're so annoying. Drunk in the theater. I'm like, this is amazing.
You're just yelling.
God. Yeah. So excited.
It's funny getting drunk in a movie theater. Like there's still something, like when I was younger, it's something that I would do, but there's still an appeal of like being able to have a drink or a beer or something.
Oh my God, it's my favorite thing to do. Like going to a movie theater is what I miss the most right now.
I'm dying to go to a movie theater too.
Getting like a little tipsy and going to a movie is the best thing on this planet.
Yeah, I like getting a little stoned and going
to
a movie. Except for like it's a hard situation because I'll just like smash down a joint in the parking lot. Like right when you pull in, and then you got to go inside and pay for your ticket and talk to the person.
Oh
still.
Yeah, you're like nervous.
And so you're like, I'm sorry that I'm incredibly stoned.
Oh, they all know. They know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you smell like a damn nug too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've recently been, well, not super recently, but you've undertaken hockey. You've been thrown into the world of hockey.
Yes.
Yeah. What are you were saying you weren't like super, you didn't know a ton about it before, but you have played sports and stuff. Like what are some things that you have noticed that you like about hockey?
I mean, like going to the games is so exciting. I only go like if Jack's playing, obviously. It's especially when someone is playing that you love, it's so exciting.
That's gonna be intense.
Oh my God, I'm like a hot mess, and I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the rules.
I feel that I don't think I know the rules really much.
Yeah, either. But I don't know. It's so exciting. just the atmosphere. It's just like going to like a Blazer game.
Yeah.
Or like a Seattle Seahawks game. I haven't been to like a lot of sports events, but they're exciting. I love them.
Yeah, it's like it's that energy. Like it's just everybody's so excited to be there. Like you don't even have to be rooting for the same team. Like
it's so funny.
And they're talking shit to each other, which is like it's funny because I'm just like a feminine dude. I'm just like
go sports.
I'm in there. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not someone who's gonna like participate in the shit talking.
Yeah. Oh my god, I go to like have a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's fun to like laugh at like everybody else doing, not at them, but like with them, you know, like it's just this different energy. It's really cool to be a part of it.
You would be surprised like the fans like are so serious. It's shocking. It's amazing though. It's beautiful. Yeah. And I haven't gone to a Toronto game yet because he just got traded to Toronto. Yeah. Like LA to Toronto is going to be very different. LA was different. Like they were really big about the Lakers, but like LA Kings games were like pretty intense, but I just know Canada's extremely different.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't even know what that's like yet. So
well, that'll be an exciting new venture. Hopefully you don't have to like watch him get in fights and stuff. I feel like that'd be kind of brutal.
Goalies don't get in fights, so he's good. He has his teeth.
He's good to go.
Yeah, he's good.
The team has his back. So he's
like a golden retriever. He's the nicest person on the ice.
Oh, nice. Perfect to be a goalie for him. For him being a goalie.
Yeah, he's very nice to even the other players that are mean to him. I'm like,
dude, I played minor league baseball for like 1 year when I was way younger, and I remember it being weird to people on my team that I would like high five the other players and shit. Like I didn't know. I was like, we're all having fun. I didn't know that was supposed to be like that's the enemy. I didn't know. I was just
so
innocent.
nice. Yeah, that's literally him. And I'm like, do people chirp you on the ice? Like, do people like skate up to you? And he's like, oh my god, they talk so much shit to me. But then they like, it's like a joke at the end. They want to like get you mad, right? Like ruin your game.
Yeah.
But
man, it's a psychological. So it's kind of like. It's not. I'm not comparing it openly as a sport, but like so WWE kind of has this like. Those guys, they're huge athletes. Like that's actually like hard, like suplexing someone off a ring. You know, it's
even if it's acting, it's hard.
So, but they're kind of in that acting world of like they know, like when they go backstage, I'm sure they kind of shut off. Yeah, they're like, hey, oh, you did good. That was a good whatever. Like they know that they're acting, but when they're out there, it's like. We're on, man. And I feel like hockey players kind of have that too. Like it's not that they hate each other. It's like this is what you do in the sport.
And many of these players have like even on separate teams they played together, like growing up or like in college or even in, like when Jack went to high school, they like played together, whatever. But like when it's the game's on, it's so intense. Like they're just giving each other shit, like cussing. Like it's a crazy sport.
Yeah, I think it's impressive though. Like any athlete of any sport who can kind of like. Turn on that thing, you know. It's
god.
It's like the action thing starts.
I have so much anxiety. I'm like, how do you like people like are so mean, like screaming at you in the stands. I'll be like in the family section, and people can sit in the family section, and they're like saying fuck you to like certain players, and I'm like, oh my god, these
I'm
players
gonna say something.
They're like on the same team, and I'm like, I know them personally. Like holy shit, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Jack like in the stands before. Thank God. Sweetest. But I would never say anything. I'd be like, oh my god, so embarrassing. But
you're just in the stands fighting on his honor.
I know, right? Gosh, it's just like sports. Oh, so wild. Go sports.
Go sports, indeed. It's a fun time to participate in it. I think I'm someone who. Like I just can't help it. I'm more paying attention to oh, what's that camera guy doing on the corner there? Like on the, you know, when you're watching football or when you're watching sports, I'm always like interested in the whole thing.
Oh my god,
it's hard for me to stay focused.
We are the same person,
dude. For real.
This is so weird. Yeah.
You're just interested in like the whole thing.
I always ask like stupid questions. I'm like, God, are the refs okay? Like, do they get beat up? And he's like, yeah, they get hit all the time. I'm like, oh my god, that's so sad. And you're like, do they get paid well?
You're just how's sad your coach for the refs doing? In the middle, he's like, "Can you keep your head in the game?"
I'm like, "How's your coach doing? Is he okay? Is he good?"
He seems pretty stressed out. He's yelling a lot.
Yeah.
Does he do yoga?
Smiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, gosh.
So you guys we were talking about before the podcast. You were having trouble getting into Canada because coronavirus is a weird thing, and our simulation's breaking.
They don't want us in there.
Yeah. So tell me about this. Okay. So we'll back up a little bit. Where all have you? You've lived in a few different places.
Yeah.
So you guys met in Hawaii, but you've lived in LA for a little bit. Like, tell me a little bit about that, like the places that you have lived, and then what's going on with you getting into Canada.
Well, we only knew each other for 4 months when I moved to LA. which was insane. But going back and forth was just super expensive from Maui to LA. So I made like the ultimate decision to move to LA. We were there for about a year and a half, and he re-signed with the LA Kings, and he was like, there's no way. We always talked. I'm like, it's so expensive here. Like, California's crazy. It's beautiful, but it was just like so expensive. I'm like, it would be so funny or fun if you got traded. And like, he's like, there's no way. Like, I just re-signed. Like, we're not going to get traded. We're going to be here for like years. And I was like, okay, like this is my life now. This is where I live. California is it, right?
Man, yeah. And
I was visiting home. I was in Portland, and he calls me, and he's like, oh my God, I think I'm getting traded. And I was like, to where? And he was like, I think to Toronto. And I was like, holy shit, okay. And I was like, no, we didn't hear anything. 3 days go by. He gets traded. Like, it's in a second. So he has to leave like the next day.
What?
Yeah. And like, I'm in California. Well, I was in Portland, but I live in California. We had like animals. So I'm like, holy shit. Like, what are we going to do? I was in school at the time, and I'm like, so I'm not going to see him for a while, whatever. We figured it out. Our situation's so unique because Corona happened at the same time.
Yeah.
And so he was in Canada on a work visa. I was visiting him at the time Corona was happening. We had to go back to LA to pack up our stuff and ship it to Toronto. They're like, Jack can only come because he's the only one on, like, has a work visa. Like, he can only come here. And they're like, unless you guys want to sign a marriage certificate. I was like, well,
like getting forced into it from the pandemic.
We want to do it. We want to do it the right way.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we're like, there has to be like a loophole, whatever. We have a lawyer, you know. He thinks he knows a way. So.
Yeah. Wow, dude, what a complicated thing. Like, what? Who would have thought that?
Like, all my stuff is there. We have a house. Like, I live there. My animal is there. Like, we live there. I'm just stuck. And like, as soon as I get there, if I say I get in there, like, I'm never going to want to leave until this is completely over.
Yeah. I mean, and what's that even mean? Like, what's completely over even mean at this point? Like, when are we going back to normal?
I know. This is the new normal.
The new normal
Wearing
is
a
just,
mask.
Everyone's just like, Americans are just crazy and don't let them in your country.
we're struggling. It's so sad.
Guys, we're losing our minds a little bit. Just have a little patience.
Help us.
We're still the leaders of the free world.
Yeah.
Don't do what we're doing though.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. Okay, so before that, you lived in Hawaii for a while though, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about Hawaii. I want the vibe of Hawaii.
Oh my God. Everything I ever dreamed of.
Because I've never been, so sell me on it. Like, what's the...
You need to go. I need to sell you. Okay, well, I could never live in a city, okay? I'm like such a small town girl, like always, forever. But the island vibe is everything I've ever wanted. It's just like a small town. Everyone's family. And I fit in so well in Maui. Like, even getting a job my favorite job I've ever had, like a job I actually enjoyed. And like, everyone there, I feel, we always joke, it's like the black sheep of your family that moves to Maui. Like, everyone's a black sheep, and we all like...
I'm the black sheep of my family.
Same. I'm the black sheep. And like, everyone just like fits, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I mean, everyone dates the same person, but it's like the dating pool was really shitty, but I loved it. It's amazing. I want to die there.
You're going to go there just to die? There's a big little graveyard.
I mean,
there.
I want to grow old and die there.
Of course.
But
yeah, I want to go. We've been to the Caribbean twice. We've been to Jamaica and Cayman Island.
Oh, wow.
And Grand Cayman. That was such a wonderful place. And that was the first time I had gone to like any sort of like exotic, like beachy place like that. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty crazy. But
do you like think you could live there if you had to?
I think now, when I had gone there, I just loved it, and I don't think I could have lived there. But now I'm like such a fucking hippie that I think that I would really...
It would be easy, yeah.
I would enjoy it.
That's how... And like, I was kind of nervous. Everyone's like, you get island fever. I'm like, okay. Because my family lives in Maui. Like, part of my family lives 2 hours away from where I was living. But she was getting island fever when she was my age. And I was like, well, if I get it, I can always move away. Whatever. Right. And like, I wasn't there long. So... I just don't really see myself getting that.
You don't think you'll get island fever? So so an island fever is where you're just like, I gotta get off this island.
Yeah. You're stuck. And like, you do go to the same places, you go to the same bars. Like, Maui is so small. Mm-hmm. There's like one nightclub. It's like, to go there as a young person, it's hilarious because your friends visit you and you're like, what are we going to do tonight? And you're like, well, we're going to go to the Dirty Monkey.
Is it called the Dirty Monkey too? Of course it's called the Dirty Monkey.
Or Down the Hatch. That's like the West Side best bar. Yeah. But that's what you do. It's like the same things.
I mean, that's kind of what you do in your hometown too.
I know, right? But like, I love visiting and going to like the cool bars here, like where all your friends will be.
Yeah, it's nice running into your old friends. It's funny because you go through a stage of like, I mean, I guess different for me because I'm always in bars, working in them. But like, you go through a stage of like, I don't want to see people that I like. If I haven't seen them since high school, there's a reason why. Like, you have those sort of like catchphrases that you'll say, and then you kind of get older and you're like, you know what, fuck, it is kind of good to run into that guy or that.
Yeah,
it's good to run into.
Yeah, definitely some people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some that's not so great to run into. Of course, but.
This is so funny that you bring this up because I have so many friends on my Facebook like from high school. The people that I never hung out with in high school like post things that I relate to, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm not saying I was hanging out with the wrong group. But like, there's a lot of people that like, I wish I would have hung out with and that I see around town and I'm like really excited to see them.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is something cool that social media offers us. Like you get to see the best, I mean, not always, but different sides of people rather. Like you get to kind of, I mean, that's what it is. It creates a community. Like we've never had it. So I read this Reddit comment not so long ago, and somebody essentially had asked, the post was, high schoolers now who are in high school now in 2020, I think this was before the pandemic, but they said like, what's something that older people probably wouldn't really be able to understand or believe about high school? And they said there's not really cliques. Like there's not really like everybody's kind of like cool with everybody, but like who you like is on your phone. Like you talk to the people who you like on your phone. You connect with people like your community through your social medias and stuff. And then like in physical person, you're like cool with people.
Everybody.
Yeah, but I feel like people's main interactions is probably more on their phone than. Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's like an interesting thing.
So like, weird.
But I mean, it would be cool to, because I had so many friends growing up. I feel like I got along with a lot of people, but I never like there. It took me a while to find people, where I'm like, oh, you're so much like me. We have the same interest,
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe kids are able to cut that and they're like able to get people who are just like them right away or.
I know. Yeah. I mean, like, I definitely feel like when we were in high school, when did you graduate?
2010.
2010. Yeah. I feel like it was cliquey.
Yeah.
Like the time it was. Yeah. Like I probably like didn't have a lot in common with the people I hung out with, or like I wanted to be cool. I partied like stupid stuff that I wouldn't have done like really.
Right.
I don't know. Just like I love a party, but just the atmosphere I put myself into, I'm just totally different from today. So
right. I mean, that's the thing too, is as you grow older, especially if you start traveling different places and you meet different types of people and stuff, you realize like how much you do change. Like I feel like
I know I always say people never change, but you really do.
Yeah.
You do.
People change.
I've always said that like people don't change. But they do.
That's a sour way to look at it. I mean, it's easy to think that.
I was sour when I was younger.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it. I mean,
I changed.
Exactly. So that's exactly what happened. So I wanted to talk to you about your breast implant situation.
Oh my God, yes.
I just want to leave the door open for you to talk about it, how you would like to talk about it. I know that it was a whole debacle for you, the whole thing. We talked briefly about it. So,
I mean, like, I don't want to come at it as a negative thing because I think plastic surgery can be beautiful. Like I get Botox, I get fillers, things like that. But like going under the knife and making the decision to put something foreign in my body was really devastating on both my mental health and just my body.
Yeah, that was the strange thing to me, just because I mean I guess I don't know anything about it, but that it affected your mental health so much. Like that's so intense. So okay, give listeners rather a lowdown of like what went on. They don't know you if they've never heard of any of the situation.
Well, when was it? 2015. I decided to get breast implants. I had no idea I wanted them. It was like a split second of me deciding I wanted to get implants. I was like, oh well. I remember I was like kind of thicker in high school, not thick, like I wasn't fat by any means, but I was athletic. I was playing a lot of sports. And then I remember graduating high school and I was running a lot. And like I lost weight really easily and I thinned out like really fast. lost all the muscle. And like the first thing that went was my breasts. Right, and I was like, oh my God, like why do I have such small boobs? And I was talking to somebody, like my coworker at the coffee shop I worked at, and she had breast implants and she's like, I love them. My sister had them. I'm like, okay, yeah, like that's an option for me. I wanted to see like how much money it was. It wasn't too expensive. I was like, I can do this. Like I went in for my consultation, and he gives you like things to try on, like what options you have. And he was like, we have this new implant. It's called the gummy bear implant. It's textured on the outside, so it's like fits to your skin. So it looks more natural. And I was like, wow, like this is exciting. Like it's gummy new. Bear, huh? Yeah. And like I felt it felt like a gummy bear. I was like, it's so textured and cool. I'm like, let's do it. He's like, I can get you in 2 months. And I was like, oh my God, really? Like, he's like, yeah, I had a cancellation. So I really had no time to think about it. And then I remember I went on like a vacation with my boyfriend at the time and like a couple. And my friend, she was like, you really shouldn't do this. Like, you haven't had much time to think about it. And I was like, oh my God, somebody that's actually like, don't do it. Because everyone.
Shout out to your friend for like saying that. Oh my
God,
that's
shout out to Summer
thing
Hellison. Hello. Yeah. She was like, you don't have a lot of time to think about it. And I like, looking back now, I was like, I didn't. And I was like, it's going to be great. Like, it's going to feel good, whatever. My body is so sensitive to everything. I didn't even like look that up. Like, this has been happening since the 90s. Women have been complaining about like feeling sick from foreign objects in their body. What's that thing they get like when you have like heart palpitations? They get like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Just arrhythmia?
Yes. And they get like a device put in their heart.
Oh,
I forget what they're called. But people complain about having, like, they get sick from having that in their body because it builds scar tissue around.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But I'm like, I read about that, and I was like, there can't be similar. My sister has them, like, I'll be fine.
Yeah, and your sister was fine. She didn't have any of these.
Yeah, and she got them, she's 10 years older than me, so she got them so long ago when she was 20, and she feels completely fine. But, like, I'm sensitive to, like, certain, like, lotions. I'm allergic to latex and, like, certain, just, like, fragrances. Like, didn't even think about that. I get the surgery. I love them. They're beautiful. Whatever. I didn't even start noticing. My dad had died, obviously, in 2013, and I think that like really upset started my anxiety.
Right. Of course.
But I don't know, like.
You didn't really have much anxiety before, like.
No, I had no anxiety.
Of course, you went through.
So this is confusing. Father, so like, my dad died in 2013. I got my breast implants in 2015. I thought the anxiety started when my dad died, and like I was like, maybe I had anxiety from that, but I didn't start noticing like physical symptoms until my breast implants. So I would get like there's so many symptoms I would get. I would get like tingling in my arms and fingers, fatigue. I had definitely had fatigue. Like. Severe eczema, psoriasis, losing my hair, things like that.
What?
Oh my God, I have a note. Let me look up my symptoms.
Of like all the symptoms, you took them down?
Yeah.
What? So were you like going through it for a while? Like, was it just they started adding up? It was like a couple
years after I got them in, like the implants in.
Yeah.
And like.
Because it's hard to correlate that. Like, you probably would never like think like,
yeah.
Oh, wait,
and I was like, maybe I'm just like getting older. I was like, is this like something of me getting older? Heart palpitations. I had chest tightness. Shallow breathing, like I felt tight, like heavy on my chest. I would get like blurry vision. I was like, I'm losing my sight because I'm getting old. I really need to get glasses. Like I would just like justify everything. Sensitivity to touch, dry scalp. Like I was gaining weight, and I had the same, like I've always had the same diet, exercise routine. So that was kind of confusing. So they finally ended up putting me on like an antidepressant. And I was like, well, I'm not depressed. And they're like, well, it helps with anxiety. I was like, okay, like we'll see how this goes. And I'm still on it today, which I do think it helps. But I started Googling like what could be wrong with me, because I went to a doctor and she took like my blood test. She did a chest x-ray, like an EKG, because I was having the heart palpitations. And it was this doctor in California, and she was a friend from the team Jack played for, and she's amazing. I love her. But she was like, you're so healthy. Like your blood test came back and you're so healthy. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I remember getting the call and I was like kind of crying, because I was like, I don't feel good.
Yeah, now you don't have
I can't
answers.
explain it. Yeah, like, I'm so sorry, but like, I don't feel good. And she was like, well, like, you should go see like a doctor about your breast implants. And like, everyone in California was so like expensive. Like that, like I was like, I kind of want them out, just like to get them out. I wasn't even thinking like anything about the implant that was in. I was like, I just want them out. And they were like, they quoted me like $25,000 or some shit to take them out. Yeah. I was like, I can't afford that. So, they were like, you're going to hate what you look like. Like they're going to be really saggy and gross. Like you're not going to like them. And like, I'm a guy and I know what breasts are supposed to look like. And like, this is like,
that's a weird sentence.
Oh my God. So many doctors in California are so bizarre. And they were like, this is what you want. I was like, well, it's not what I want. Like, I don't feel good.
It's attacking me.
I know. And then I was like, you ask yourself, you're like, is this like in my head? Is this just severe anxiety?
Right.
Like, do I have that?
That can be so confusing.
So eventually I got put on an anti-anxiety, which is like a sedative. And like, God, you take it and like, you can't drive on it. You can't like do anything. Like you feel high and you feel like, oh my God, like this isn't how I want to like live my life. It just got so bad. I couldn't get out of bed some days because I was so ill.
Oh man.
Like I would get up and I would like pass out or like hyperventilate to the point where like I had to call 911. There's been like 4 instances like when I had to like go see a doctor.
You think this was a combo of obviously how you were feeling, but
I
also
think anxiety.
The anxiety? Oh,
yeah,
like,
a combo of like.
Was this when you were taking the anxiety medication too?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah,
so
I
just
think
a whole
everything
plethora.
of like a mix. Like they're trying to like help me, my breast implants. Like just the thought of having like this toxic bag in my chest. And like, and then I started Googling and stuff and everyone's like, okay, there's this rare type of lymphoma, like this rare cancer of the immune system that's like killing women. And I was like, what's it linked to? The breast implants that I have. And I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like, oh my God. So like they recalled them in Europe, which they came from Europe. And then they hadn't been recalled in the US yet. So I called my doctor and I was like kind of scared. I was like, oh my God, holy shit. Like, what do I do? And he was like, if you feel like you're sick, like I want to see you type thing. Yeah. Because I had seen the doctors in California and they didn't want to do the explant or they were really expensive. So I went home to Portland and he was like, if you want him out, like I'll take him out. He's like this, oh my God, he's the best doctor I've ever had in my life.
And he's the one who
charged me
put
nothing.
Him in.
Yeah, put him in.
Oh
he's
wow, so he took him out for free.
Well, he took him out for free, but I had to pay like the surgical room fee and like the anesthesia. Yeah. It cost me like nothing. And he even asked me if I wanted to put different implants in because he would do it for free. He was like, I want you to feel comfortable, whatever. But I had gotten, they finally got recalled. Let me backtrack a little bit. They got recalled in the summer of last summer, 2019. I gotten a letter from my doctor. Like, these are recalled. They don't suggest you get them taken out unless you have these symptoms. It was like swelling, pain, and redness of the breast. Yeah. And I had like the swelling and the pain, severe pain in my left breast. Like I couldn't sleep at night. Like I would cry. Dang. Like if like Jack had touched my boob, like it like hurt. Yeah. Couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get them taken out. Whatever. And I shit you not, as soon as I woke up from my surgery, I like could breathe. I'm wow. Holy fucking shit. I felt like so, I don't know, like I don't know if it's a placebo, like it's in my head.
Yeah, hey, it could have been. I mean,
even if it is, I'm like.
Well, I mean, what our brain believes, I feel like, your intuition was probably like, hey, this is a problem. Like whether or not the information you looked up, like it fed to that. Yeah. But it seems like even before that, you were like, I want to get these out. They're not, something is wrong. Yeah. You had that like intuitive feeling. So. I
know. And then I know a woman who got them removed and got new implants. And she does feel better, she says. But like even my sister, she feels good with her implants. Like she feels fine. Like some people probably can have them and feel completely fine. But I just feel like some bodies can't have that foreign object in your body. We create a scar capsule around the implant to protect ourselves from this foreign object. And when they took it out, I wanted the scar capsule out because that's where the cancer is found, is in the scar capsule. Oh, right. Yeah. And so I was like, I want it all scraped out. And like, I was like, I wanted proof, like take a photo, please, just for my like state of mind. Right. Yeah. And he like took the photo. I saw the implants, the scar tissue, everything. And then this is what people need to be aware of. I was starting to feel like scar tissue, like hardness I was like, oh, it's scar tissue. Because my mom has had surgery. I know what scar tissue is. Like, it just hardens. It's like, what's it, like calcifies or something? I have no idea. I'm not smart enough to know that. But there was like a lump in my left breast, the problem breast that I had. And I was in California. I was like, obviously Corona was happening. Wasn't thinking about it. I was like, it'll go away, or like, it's probably what I have to live with, whatever. Like, I do feel better. I felt amazing. Like 20 of my symptoms have disappeared.
Right.
I still have like the anxiety, but it's 90% better.
That's great. That's great.
And then I was like, well, I'm here. I want to like have him look at my scar tissue or this lump that I have in my breast. I went in like 2 weeks ago, and he was like, oh, how long have you had this? And I was like, probably since the surgery, which was in the end of January, like beginning of February. And he was like, you have like fluid buildup in here, which could cause an infection, like serious infection.
Jeez.
It's like, holy shit, okay. And he like laid me down, like got like, he like put a needle in me, got all the fluid out. And he was like, you just like have to keep seeing you until like we make sure like you're not getting any more fluid buildup, like how severe it could have been.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
So what is the cause of the fluid buildup? Is it
when you get an explant surgery, you have to have like drains. I don't know the medical term, but like it just builds. It's just like gunk pretty much.
Yeah, it just builds up in there.
Builds up and like it's draining like all this like blood, like nasty stuff. I probably should have the drains in longer than I did, but I had them in for like 2 weeks, which is like normal. But yeah, my left breast just like didn't get all the stuff out. Right. I guess I don't know. So but it was just scary.
So you're still healing from it, you know?
Yeah,
you're still,
and it's been like
slowly,
he said it would be a year, like probably to fully heal. Oh my God, when I like first saw them, like after surgery, I was like, they're so ugly. I was like crying.
Oh, yeah,
but like
I'm
now
sure
they're like my 20-year-old self. Like,
oh, you're fine with it? Like it doesn't affect you?
No, like I was young enough to like get them taken out. So like if anyone's ever worried, like you're young enough, like your skin, and he's like, your skin didn't thin out. Like your skin's healthy. And I had big implants in. I went really large.
What size did you have?
I had 400 cc's, which was like a triple D at the beginning, and then I was like a double D. Yeah. By the end when they settled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super crazy. So did you? Because I know you were doing a lot of Pilates stuff. Did you get into Pilates kind of like after that? I asked because I had. I'm just curious. So for me with yoga, like I'd been working out my whole life. I don't know if this is super related, but I'd been working out my whole life. I've been a skateboarder. Like I've always been active, but like I didn't until I was like 25, 26, started doing yoga, 27, whatever it was. I like this like connection to my body, started like forming that I like, it's so hard to explain. And it just sounds like totally woo woo in every way, but
I get it.
Yeah. So did you have anything similar to this at all? Like after, or like, I
started Pilates. It's just really weird. I had nothing going on in LA because like when I moved there, I didn't really want to like get a job right away just because I didn't know anybody. And Jack did Pilates, and I met this woman who was his Pilates instructor, and she just got me hooked to it. But when I was doing it, I felt like pain, obviously,
right.
And that's another reason why it drove me to get them out. But no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's euphoric. Like you feel a connection to your body. Yeah, it's like what you should be doing.
So what do you feel about your, like what has been something ringing in your mind about your connection to your body now? Like, do you think that do you feel different with your body? Like, is your connection to your body different than it was before you started the implant?
It's so much different. Like I didn't like, it's so funny because you think like if you fix yourself, you get bigger boobs. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna love myself more. Like I didn't. I loved myself less. I didn't feel good. I'm like, I hate my body. It's so like I hate you for feeling so ill. But like it was fighting to like stay alive.
Yeah, it was helping you out.
It was like,
it's
hey,
like, you gotta...
oh my God, you're so sick. And like now when I work out, I haven't been able to run. And like used to be like a runner. I haven't been able to run for like years because I never ran in Hawaii. It's too hot. But like now, like being able to run, like it feels good. And like even doing Pilates and like things like that, like it's like it feels healthy. Like I'm helping my body, and I love my body now. I feel more youthful. Like that's
good.
Yeah. I'm gonna cry. This is so emotional.
It is.
It's so sad because like God, girls like feel like they need to have stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I love plastic surgery. I'm not going to like dog on it, but some things we can't have.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of, you don't need it. Like, unless it's, you know, it's of course it's your own choice. It's always your own choice. Yeah. But, you know, it's a lot of times we do things because, I mean, look at you. You're like, I'm going to do this thing and I'll like my body more. Mm-hmm. But it's almost kind of like this weird, like confused image a little bit where, you know, for me, like I used to work out and I would just be like big. I just want to be big. And like for me, it was kind of my protective. Like I was like trying to build that scar to protect my armor, you know, like to protect that little boy that was still hidden in there, you know. But I don't know, man. The connection to my body is so much more important than like what I think other people think when they see my body. Mm-hmm. You know, it's this new.
We should work out to like feel better about ourselves. Like, you know, I work out to like eat what I want and like feel confident, whatever. But we shouldn't have this like really unhealthy relationship with working out, like changing our bodies, getting plastic surgery. Like it's a weird world we live in right now.
Yeah, it is.
Like Instagram is like honestly really, I understand like going on my popular page, I'm like, holy shit, I wish I looked like that. Like, wow.
Of course.
And like I look back and I'm like, that girl has fake boobs. Like, they look so nice. Like, oh, I wish I still had mine. And then I'm like stopping myself. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
Why would you want that? Like, you didn't feel good.
It's so easy to like that, like, because I get it too. Like, I mean, even there's sometimes where I'll notice, like, because I was like chunky towards the end. I was like a big boy. I was strong, but I was like 204. But like I'm like 160 now or something. And like sometimes I'll literally look like on Instagram, you'll see like a streetwear page or something, and some dude's yoked, and I'm like, oh man, his shirt just looks way doper.
160 pounds.
Yeah, and I'll catch myself doing that. I'm like, wait,
and you
what?
look so healthy. You look great, by the way.
Thanks,
like glowing.
Thanks. I appreciate that. You do too. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
It's good to be healthy. It's good to have that connection with our body. I'm always trying to tell people. I'm always like, you know, yelling on my social medias and on here, like the connection that we have to working out has always been this, oh, I need to lose weight, or oh, I got a vacation coming up, or oh, I hate my body now and I want to not hate it. And it's like, you don't approach it from that. Like what it should be is like wherever you're at, doesn't matter, however you feel about like, oh, I'm overweight or I'm underweight or I want more muscle or I have too much muscle, whatever it is. Yeah. It should be like going to the gym or stretching or doing Pilates or doing yoga. Any of these things should be to like explore your body, like to learn about it.
Make you happier.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like when I was younger, like with my implants, I felt like I kept like, I was working out to like look a certain way and I was never satisfied. Mm-hmm. But like, I just come to realize that like, am I ever going to be satisfied? Like, no, just like love your body for what it is. Like, you know, of course, like everyone's like, yeah, I love like what God gave you, whatever. But like, you really have to find like that healthy relationship with how you look and what you eat and how you want to treat yourself and your body, your mind and everything. It's
an ever growing, like there's a learning just by getting older, but we're also like with technology and like advancements and like everybody learns something new. Like every day there's something new about our health or about food that we learn. And so we're always like, you kind of just gotta, you gotta like try to watch out for the fads and try to just like eat something. And then how does that feel to your body? Like, oh, it doesn't feel good. Well, you know, maybe eat that once a week or don't eat that. Or, you know, you gotta like, we're always stumbling into what feels good.
Eat really healthy, but also have like a fucking cheeseburger and some French fries. I don't know.
Man, live life.
Yeah. Have a beer.
Yeah. I try to do, when I'm at home, I try to eat healthy. Like, so my first 2 meals when I break my fast are healthy. And then like, if I'm out, like at a brewery or something, it's like, I'll get a beer, of course. And then I'll since I ate the other 2 meals healthy, I'll be like, oh, it's fine to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If I eat healthy all day, I'm like, I can have a really fun dinner for sure.
Yeah. You got to like kind of work with your mind on that stuff. Like we get so hard on ourselves and we kind of, all this shit is sold to us in so many ways. Like we got to find our own individual connection with health in our own bodies. It's just so important. I was talking with, so I actually had, you're the second Rikki that I've had on the podcast this week.
What?
Yeah, I had a,
How do they spell it?
It's a male and his is Rikky. Rikki Neveretti is his name. He was over here a couple days ago and he's a power lifter. And we were talking about, cause when I was younger, I used to lift with them. And that was like so cool. Like these like power lifter, big ass dudes. Like, and of course, when you're lifting with power lifters, you're going to try to be a power lifter. So that's all lifting. And we started getting in, he was using the word ego lifting. And I was like, oh, I really liked it. I was like, oh, man, that's what I was doing. Like this ego lifting. I loved going to the gym to, and I wasn't fully conscious of this. Like this was like kind of a protection. I was like really depressed, trying to like figure my own brain out. But like I would go into the gym and work out super hard and look big, like get a pump, like I drink pre-workout before, like get that pump, like look big, feel big. Oh, my shirt's tied again against my arm. I'm good to go. And like, that would be my workouts a lot of the times. Like just trying to feel good in the mirror before I leave the gym.
And it's like you're staring at yourself in the mirror, and like people get off on that. Like when you go to a gym, like even like women, like we're like, you know, lifting weights. We like love looking at ourselves lifting weights and working out. It helps the workout, and I get I understand exactly what you're saying, and that's like I feel like that's a little bit unhealthy.
Yeah, no, it totally is. As someone who's done it himself, it's unhealthy. There's a lot like you gotta look. You know, you're looking in the mirror, you're getting your posture down.
But if it does help you finish a workout, I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You need to work out. Like a workout is great for you, but no, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. I think being more aware of my thoughts, though, it's less of like.
But if it was helping you at the time, then like if it mentally.
Yeah, I mean.
You have to do what makes you feel good.
Yeah, you're only on your
meditating,
path.
Working out. Yeah, if it's getting you those endorphins, like, I don't know. I fucking hate running. Like hate running with all of my heart. But like I know afterwards I feel so mentally stable. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Like I can go out and hang out with my friends without stress.
Yeah.
If I go on a run.
Dude, running is everything. I feel like it's getting the energy out.
I know.
Like,
yeah, it is.
How do you feel? Okay, like halfway through on your run, do you still hate it?
Oh, I fucking hate it. I hate
You hate every second of it?
I mean, like you get that runner's high eventually. Like some runs are different than others. Like I used to like run, like what was it? Like 9 miles a day. I was like, that was before my surgery, when I was losing a bunch of weight. Me and my sister got
You hate running and you ran 9 miles a day?
Because like I wanted to be thin. And like that was like the easiest way to lose weight. And like, cause I thought I was like fat in high school. I was fucked up, and I wasn't fat. I was just athletic, and I lost so much weight by running. And like, I got that runner's high doing those like 8, 7 mile, 9 mile runs. But like in between, like you get that runner's high, and you were not really thinking about it. But afterwards, like mentally, I was probably like the happiest I've ever been. Right, like before my implants, like I was happy, stable, like. Mentally,
you feel pretty savage after a long run.
Oh my God, you're like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I ran a long time.
I'm cool. I always like, for me, it's always, not always, but a lot of my runs are, sometimes I will run because I have to fight Mr. Hyde. That sounds kind of crazy, but like a lot of times I'll be like in a bad place or like a depression day or something, and I'll go for a run and I'll like, you just kind of have those bad thoughts, like just intrusive thoughts coming up, sad thoughts, like
oh my God, intrusive thoughts. I Google this all the time. They're real.
Oh, they're very real. I talk with them with my counselor all the time.
It's a form of OCD, and I have that.
Yeah, you do, dude. Okay, so what have you learned about intrusive thoughts?
Okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but like when the bad thoughts come in. We have good thoughts, right? When the bad thoughts come in, we like overanalyze them because we're like, why are these bad thoughts here? But when the good thoughts are, we don't even think about it. So intrusive thoughts, like if you're driving down the road and you're like, what if I just
what if I just murder that? Yeah.
What if I just ran off the road? Left. Like what if I'm holding a baby? What if I just like fucking drop it?
Yep.
Why do we have those thoughts? It's fucking real. It's a form of OCD, and I have that. And I got I've read a lot of anxiety books about it because it scared me at first. I'm like, am I fucking crazy? Yeah. But like, of course I don't want to run my car off the fucking road.
Right.
But we're scared that we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like we're not in control of our mind. And people don't realize that. And like people are too scared to talk about it.
Yeah.
Me and Jay Segawa talk about this all the time, dude. It's like, it's so real. People don't want to talk about intrusive thoughts. And like, it's a disease. And like, it takes over your mind, and like people need to talk about it because like a lot of people have it.
I think a ton of people have it. I had it super bad, and I didn't understand. I didn't have the intellect. I didn't have the knowledge.
It's because you're too aware. You're too aware, and people with anxiety are too aware of life. I swear.
I know. I wish I could just check out sometimes.
We're woke.
Right? We're way too woke. Like it's cool to have anguanxiety now. You're like, you're more woke if you have anxiety.
Yeah, but we're just too aware of being alive, and it's like the good thoughts. We don't even realize when we're having the good thoughts, the bad thoughts, we overanalyze, and it's really scary.
So do you remember like You remember the first time you started like feeling bad about having an intrusive thought? Like if you're like driving over a bridge and you like think about like, I could turn my wheel to the left and just murder that family in that van. Like you have that thought and then you're like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Know,
oh my God.
I didn't start thinking about like dark stuff like that until like after my dad died. I had nothing traumatic has ever happened to me until my dad died. Yeah. And like his death was so like quick and such an accident that I was like, oh my God, bad things can happen. I think that, that's like when my anxiety kicked in. And like, the intrusive thoughts didn't come in until I moved to Hawaii, actually. Yeah. I was like, why am I thinking this way? I was like, that's really weird. Like, oh my God, you might have to edit this out.
We'll edit it out if we have to.
This is so weird. But like, if you ever like, sometimes I'm like holding a knife and I'm like, what if I just did that?
That is not that weird.
I was like, am I weird?
So
Me and Jay talk about it all the time.
I've literally had this exact conversation with my counselor actually.
Okay.
I was like, like every time I would cut a knife or use a knife, I would literally started to become afraid of it. So like when I got farther and farther towards like
your mind, you're afraid of it because your mind's afraid of it.
Okay. And it creates this conundrum too when you start like thinking that thought's you. Like you're like, I don't trust myself to like hold anybody's knife, and it's like I'm definitely not holding anybody's baby if they hand it to me tomorrow. Like,
and then you think about like, what if I drop them on accident, or if I even just threw it? Like,
right.
Even a bunch of things. Like you do think of the worst things possible. Like, what if I hurt their kid, or what if I like ran somebody over on accident, or what if I like, I don't know. You think about even things that you're not in control of. Like, it's
you're not your thoughts though. Okay, so so say there's a young listener who is experiencing intrusive thoughts and they're like, holy shit, I didn't know that other people had these. I didn't know we're allowed to talk about them, and they're listening to us.
Oh my God, it's a form of OCD and everybody has it.
Yeah. And you're fine. And you're not your thoughts.
But some people don't have it. Like some people have, like they don't have it. No, but it's okay. Like you're not going to hurt somebody.
Yeah. You're not going to do those things.
Because you're aware of it, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to. Like you're so afraid that you're going to do it, you know you're not going to do it at the same time.
Think about the reason why you feel bad about it. It's because you know that it's not right and you're not going to do it.
Fuck. Also, I watch like so much true crime shit. I think I'm afraid of like the consequences of like doing something horrible. And like I can't even fathom how people do that to other people, that like I'm so afraid that like I'd be in that circumstance.
Right.
Or like somebody's going to hurt me. I have that fear too. That like we don't know people. The people that we fall in love with, the people that we're friends with, like we don't know our neighbors. And like I have that fear also. I'm afraid of everything, dude. Like
okay, so I have a similar fear. And this is one that I still struggle with, but I never give into it anymore. Like I don't let my mind take me there. So I think it's similar. So my upbringing, when I was younger, I had to like stay at my friends' houses. Like their parents would keep me for 4 days or whatever. And like I was staying with my friend, right? You're just hanging out at your friend's house. But like I knew it's because like things weren't going good at home. I didn't have like a place to stay. Like I had to like stay with them. And so I started like seeing my friendships as like, oh, you're just friends with me because your parents made you be friends with me. And I started like questioning every relationship and friendship that I had. And it like polluted my mind. And it was like, those were literally my friends. They liked hanging out with me. We had great times together. Like I happened to have a situation at home where I stayed with them for longer than a lot of other people. Yeah. But it's like I would grow up and you start like, it'll be a sudden thing. Like you're really good friends with someone, you connect with them. You're like, it's a flow state when you're talking to them. You love them. You're just talking from your stomach. And then suddenly you have that thought of like, dude, you made this whole situation up. This guy doesn't really like you that much.
Dude, I know I've never had that.
Oh, you've never had that?
No.
Oh, well, hopefully it doesn't populate in your head now.
Oh my God, I might. No, but like, I understand what you're saying though, because like you're like sabotaging the relationship.
Yeah.
So if even like when you're talking to like your partner, so say like you have this like intuition that you don't trust your partner, right? You're sabotaging the relationship by making things up in your head. I've had dreams where like, I'm like, okay, my boyfriend's cheating on me. Like in my dream, and I wake up and I'm mad at him, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of girls do that.
Oh my God, every woman does this. Yeah. You're sabotaging, and like you wake up mad, and it's like it's the same thing because, or if you think like they would do such a thing, like it's gonna strain the relationship. It's gonna create this like they're gonna be like, why are you being so fucking weird?
Right.
Like
so
I love you.
What do you say to those thoughts now? Like, do you? Because there's some parts where it's like don't interact with them. Like just kind of when you see those thoughts come up, you be like, dude, Come on, get real. And you can ignore it, and you can return to the present moment.
You need to just like have a conversation with yourself. Be like, okay, I'm aware of these thoughts, and I need to realize like what's real, what's not, and if I really want this person in my life, like, because if honestly, but like if I don't know, you have to trust your intuition. Like if you want this person in your life, obviously if they love you, like work hard to keep them in your life. But except for the relationship isn't like ideal and perfect, but you're gonna make me think about that later.
Oh no, I just planted an intrusive thought. Well, no, I mean you have the tool belt for it now, though. You know, so
I know. Yeah,
it's you can see that it's like they're just thoughts that pop up, and like sometimes, so me, like I happen to be able to like I was trying to figure out why I had intrusive thoughts, and so I'm like following it back, like why would I think that my friends are actually my friends?
YouTubed intrusive thoughts?
Yeah. I've definitely watched intrusive thought videos. I can't recall any of them actually.
Well, like I remember like the first video I watched, oh my God, it relaxed me so much. This woman, she was like, I have intrusive thoughts. It's like a form of OCD, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I want to kill my mom. And I was like, what? What do you mean?
She starts the video like that?
Literally. And she's like, I have like, detailed like images of how I'm going to kill her. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, of course I don't want to kill her. But she's like, I just have these thoughts, but I know I'm not going to like act on them.
Right.
And I'm like, there are severe ones, like so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I get it. It makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
She's like, I love my mom. I adore her. She's my life.
See, it's hard though. Like we have to listen to that voice that knows that it's ridiculous. Like, okay, you have the thought, like don't define yourself with that thought and don't beat yourself up for having the thought. It's for me, it works best when I just kind of like brush it. Like I'm just like, there's that shit again. Like I ain't that though. I know it.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's like even like when I start to have like, because I have panic disorder, and I'm like, okay, like if I start to have the physical symptoms to where I'm gonna like hyperventilate and have a panic attack, I'm like, I've been through this before.
Nice. Yeah.
Even though like I know I might have it anyways, it's like the conversation you have in your head. You're like, I've had this before. I can get through it. Hopefully I'm not gonna die. But like I might. I'm just kidding. No,
hey, you might always die. Like what? Like that's an exciting thing. I mean, it's not like you don't have to lie to yourself. Basically, like you don't have to be like, I'm perfectly safe and there's nothing that could happen. Like, just be real with yourself. Like if you're anxious, and
I just have to find like this like I have this. It's so hard. Like when I do have my panic attacks, I was really lucky to have a roommate who understood my anxiety, and like I always wanted to call 911 because like I thought I was dying. So I was like, I need to go to the hospital. I've like been there, you know, I've called 911 multiple times, but like she was like, no, you don't. Like you don't need to do that. Right. And like now I don't have her, and like it's so hard like when someone doesn't understand your anxiety.
Yeah.
And like if you want to talk about intrusive thoughts, and they're like, you're fucking crazy, dude. Like you're wild. But when somebody does, it like makes you feel so much better. You're like, holy shit.
That's
like,
why I love having like people are so open on this podcast to talk about those sorts of things with me. It's so great. Like people are like, like I've had it.
Oh my God, hi
Blue. Blue's joining us to break down the intrusive thoughts. But I mean, because once you realize that like you're not your thoughts, like, and you don't have to feel bad for the thought, because like right now as I'm talking, I have no idea what I'm gonna say next. I have no idea.
Oh yeah,
nobody does.
I want to talk to you about something though.
Talk to me about it.
Like, do you believe in ghosts?
I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
I think that our perception of them is a little confused, but yes. What do you think?
Okay. Well, I've just like, obviously I've told you I've been like listening to like weird ass podcasts.
Oh man, fill me
like
up with
sleeping
it.
by myself, like, and like I hate demonic shit. Like I will
Make me believe in this ghost.
I will not watch like anything about like religion, demons. Like I'm so afraid of that stuff.
Right.
But like when we, and oh my God, last night, sorry, I'm like distracted.
You're good. We got plenty of time.
Okay. Last night I was listening to a past life regression session. So like you like, it's like a meditation session and like you lay and you like try to remember your past lives. And I couldn't sleep last night. I was up till like 3:00 in the morning, and I was like, I'm going to come back like tonight. I'm going to do it. And I'm just like try to remember a past life. And he like tries to bring back childhood memories in detail. And he was like, he was like, think of any childhood memory. And it brought up like a random childhood memory with like my dad we were like on a 4-wheeler, like pheasant hunting or something. But he was like, you're going to remember details you never remembered before. And it was like, it brought up so much stuff. And then he asked like, do you remember anything from your past life? Blah, blah, blah. And like, I just like, I couldn't get into it. I wasn't like focusing. But like, also we have past lives, but it's like when we die, I mean, I think we have past lives, but when we die, like, are there some that like are stuck in limbo? Like, are we haunted? Like, are people mad? Are people upset? Are people happy? Like, I totally believe in ghost stories. And like, I listen to this podcast that tell me about like these ghosts that they've encountered, and I believe it 110%.
Okay. What's the podcast about? Like, what does it say? Like, or do they like hunt them?
Every
do they follow
story,
the different
every
stories?
story, this that one I told you, every story is different. It's like a true story, radio rental. It's like one story was about the glitch in the Matrix, like overlapping. His girlfriend was in different moods at the same time, but he ran into them at the same time. It was just like really, I don't know. That just didn't make sense what I just said. But there was a ghost story of this baby. It's this guy who keeps having these vivid dreams in his 20s. He keeps having the same dream over and over again. And he was like, I never had babysitters as a kid. And he didn't want to talk to his parents about it because he's like, it's just a fucking dream. But he keeps having the same dream over and over again. And the dream is that he's like, has this like middle-aged babysitter, and she's like, we're going to play a game. And he's like, okay. He's like, I remember being really hungry in my dream. And he's like, I just want to eat. And she's like, we're not going to do anything until we play this game. And she like turns off all the lights, and like he had like a bigger house. So like all like, she would close all the doors, and she's like, we're going to play hide and seek. So she'd go hide.
Oh, this sounds freaky already.
Dude, it's fucking scary. And like, it's the same dream. So like, he's like, I don't even know what to think. He looks all over this house, can't find her. He's like, I'm fucking hungry. Like, my mom's not here, whatever. He's like, I'm just gonna go find her. I know she's gonna scare me. He like goes into this room, and she's like in this like, what's that called? Like in a contorted like shape under the bed. And she's like grinning at him, like with a big grin smile.
Ew, gross.
The way he explains it is obviously really terrifying.
Of course. I feel like I got chills even just thinking about it.
Yeah. And the way he says it. And he's like, I see her. And I'm like, okay, like I found you. And she's still grinning at me, like won't say anything. And he's like, I'm like terrified. I'm scared. Like I see you, like whatever. And she like fucking like crawls herself out of this bed like so fast. Yeah.
Oh man.
Like demonic shit. And he like sprints away from her, whatever, is running away from her. And he's like, the way that she like got like joy out of this was really creepy. He's like, I keep having this dream, but I didn't want to tell my family about it.
Wait, so it wasn't actually his mom, it was like this memory sort of?
It's like a memory. He's
like
like
a
a dream he keeps having. And so he's like, finally, I'm going to ask my mom about it just to see if like we had any babysitters. He's like, that I'm like, I'm putting away, like hiding from my memory, whatever. And he has a brother, and like they're all sitting together, and his mom's like, no family, like it was always family members that babysat you, like no random person ever babysat you, whatever. And he was like getting in the car with his brother, and he's like, obviously we talk different when my mom's not around. And the brother was like, I specifically remember a woman like that being in our house.
No.
Like it was like a fucking ghost.
No.
Dude, yeah. And I'm like, and like the way he like tells the story, he doesn't give his name or anything. He's not getting anything by this.
It was a babysitter too. Like he may have actually perceived it as being a babysitter.
Like his mom and his dad like, was not around. And like it had to have been. And he's like, it's so real. And like the brother was like so like stone cold. Like he was like, I remember her specifically.
That's so creepy.
Dude. I'm like, they're real.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so like what do we think? Like we just assume that they're not because they're not like it's not a consistent physical reality. Like it's not like Jake and Rikki, like if there was a ghost right here, like it's not like
we experience
hey, you see it, right? Like we all experience it differently, and we all like, it's crazy because I feel like a lot of the stories are almost remembered, and it's like a retrospect. It's like at the time he
remembered it as a dream.
Yeah. That's super
also,
weird too.
You know what freaks me out the most is that like I'm not religious by any means. I believe in a higher power, but I don't know like what I believe in. Like if we believe in like demonic things, like that stuff, we have to believe in like
higher power, right?
Like heaven, right? Like or like a form of heaven, like a angelic state. I don't know, like angels.
I mean,
and
there's got to be
demons.
something guiding us that's bigger than us,
right? And like what? But then again, what I don't realize about or like understand about religion is like if we're here, Christianity. Like if we're here, like if God doesn't want us to, he died for our sins, right? But if he doesn't want us to sin, if we sin, we go to hell, right? Yeah. Like if we sin, wouldn't like the devil be happy that we sinned? Like wouldn't he be like, yeah, bro? Like
yeah, like feeding you on.
Like wouldn't punish you. You wouldn't be punished for sinning. That's why I don't understand about religion. But I don't know. You don't have to be like religious when it comes to ghosts either, because it could be people like in limbo.
Yeah, dude. There's so many. I mean, even like the Casper story. That's what it was. Is like they're stuck in limbo, right? They can't move on because they have unfinished business. Wasn't that like what they said? That's
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's not based in like a random like what the movie director decided that's what he wanted. Like I'm sure that's some.
There's just so many stories that are like unexplained, and there's stuff out of this world that we can't.
Well, have you seen that like? So like it's official, like the CIA has released paperwork saying like UFOs are real.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, that's another conversation. Yeah, I mean they're so fucking real.
They are 100%. I mean so it's like I don't know if I think they released it like during the middle of the pandemic, which is of course bizarre. Like everything is a conspiracy theory. It's impossible to talk about anything without feeling like it's a conspiracy. But yeah. But it's like, what do we do with that information? Like what? We
can't do anything.
Like you guys, like we've all seen it, but none of us in like the social normalcy of conversation and what we do next, like we can't, like we still don't believe it. Like we're saying like this is real, but then when it comes like when we're talking about it, it's like it's still not real though. It's like a weird.
But isn't it? I don't know.
I think it's got to be if they said that it's official. I mean, so many people.
But like, do they have like alien bodies? I don't know. I want to know that. But like, we're one galaxy, right? And there's like millions and millions of other galaxies. Infinity, yeah, right? I don't know if billions. I have no idea.
I think it's infinite. I mean, I don't know. It's also big.
Yeah, and like also where does space stop? It doesn't, right? It doesn't stop. Because time keeps going.
Well, and so what's interesting about that too, I was talking with my friend Brandon. We get like when we go on hikes, we talk about these sort of things.
Dude,
and it's just like this
pots and pans. I always say pots and pans because I can't think about it. Pots and pans.
I love it. I'm always like tinfoil hat. That's what I say.
Tinfoil hat, pots and pans.
Yeah, I mean, so think about like a microscope. You know, you're zooming in, like the farther, like what we know about like quantum physics. You zoom in, and more shit just keeps. The better the lens gets, the more stuff you can see. You just keep going deeper. And the same thing is like with telescopes. When you zoom out, same thing.
Yep.
Just keeps getting more. It keeps appearing. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. When you like, when you uncover more map, it just. Have you played Grand Theft Auto?
I have, but so like I watched Jack play it, but.
So you've seen like when you're at the beginning when you haven't like unlocked the whole map.
Yeah.
You only have like this part of the city, and then you hit the start menu, and then you can see the map.
It gets larger. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like Zelda.
Have you ever watched the first Men in Black?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so when my cousin makes fun of me because I always like reference this, but when like it's the end of the movie and it's like the Earth, right? And they're like zooming out, and we end up being like a little marble, like our galaxy's the marble, and the aliens are fucking playing with the marbles, like the marble game. Dude, I'm like, that's us. Like
that was your awakening.
Oh, you're like, oh my God. I was like 6 years old when I watched that, and my dad made me watch it, and I was like, oh my fucking God, like aliens, like. Aliens are fucking on this earth. I know it. Like fucking secret society.
Yeah, I think that the way that so like we perceive reality with our five senses. Like that's like those five senses combined
and that's
create.
Normal. Yep.
Yeah, but like I think that aliens are just kind of like imagine if we were able to evolutionarily gain more senses, then we may have the ability to see aliens. So like sonar, like bats, they use their two ears and they bounce sound off of the walls essentially to use sonar hearing. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a new skill you get with your senses. I feel like once we're able to like understand aliens,
like maybe we'll adapt to that.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we're growing into being able to even know what aliens are.
Yes.
I mean, evolution, we're always growing.
I want to know about it now, but like, God, so real. Do you watch Netflix?
Yeah.
Like Unsolved Mysteries. Did you watch those?
No, I haven't watched them.
It's like new. There's like
I bet she has watched
7 episodes or something. It's like about true crime. And then there's one episode, it's like the 6th episode or something like that. And it's about like a UFO story. It's like this I don't know, it's like on the East Coast somewhere. And it's like multiple people had the same experience in the same year. And it was like in the 60s. And like it was unexplainable. And they were like, we got abducted by fucking aliens.
Dude.
And like there's so the people from different groups of society, right? So you're like, there's no way that they're lying.
Yeah, they're not plotting together.
Nope.
Like they don't even know each other or whatever.
It's like the Berkshire UFO story. I think that's what it's called.
Berkshire UFO.
If you like Google it. But I'm like, if people, I mean, like I really haven't really run into somebody who doesn't believe in aliens, I don't think.
I know we all do, but we all know that it's so like taboo and strange
information. Yeah. I don't think that.
Yeah, because you can't, like, there's nothing you could say, like, well, I read this article and it's for sure true. Like, there's nothing that you could really be super solid about. Yeah. But it's all, I mean, every person has some sort of, like, not personally maybe, but like some sort of experience with some sort of alien articles or movie or something. And they're like, oh, that's got to be real. Or
I know.
There's so much to it.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah. Have you read the, or heard about the Bob Lazar? So he was on Joe Rogan.
I don't listen to Joe Rogan, but I actually like him a lot.
Oh yeah,
I need to listen to his podcast. I don't. I love him though.
I can send you a couple that that you may like. I mean, he's all over.
Does he talk about aliens?
Yeah, a ton of them. He talks about aliens. Mm-hmm. Like there's a couple that I can send you where he actually has this guy on, Bob Lazar, who has a Netflix documentary about working at Area 51 way back in the day, and essentially like this guy, it's so interesting because the more you learn about it, the more this guy is like, I don't want this to be my life. Like I wish I never saw it. Like he's like, because his life has been like ruined from it. Like because nobody believes him. He worked at Area 51 and like did these things. See? So he literally, he'll straight up, he'll talk about like, hey, I saw this at a glance. Like this wasn't something that I like took a picture of and studied it. He would like walk by and see like, I think he said he saw like 7 different size spaceships when he was working there, like or like people are working on these big metal objects
that he hadn't seen before.
That he hadn't seen before.
They were like rare, like looking. Yeah.
They hired him to work on some like gravity technology that is said to still not exist, but he had worked on it himself. But like they had a bunch of stuff where it's kind of sad really thinking about, like he was younger. And he like did interviews and basically said like he had his face like blacked out and stuff. But he's like, here's what I worked with. Here's what I saw. He was just kind of like a nerdy guy who
did he sound genuine when he was talking?
It's so believable.
Yeah.
It's so like I've listened to so many hours and hours of the guy talking. And it's like every time he's talking, he's like, I don't want to. It's like this. He doesn't even want to be. He wishes this wasn't his life, but it is because he knows like how stressful it's made his whole life. Like I guess
and like he has to think about it.
Yeah, dude, the government like and I again like this is a story, like I don't know, it's not like I was there, but like the government was literally like fucking with him. Like they would like do things to his house, like he'd go inside and then like look outside and all his windows of his car were rolled down. Like I don't know if that's exactly what the story was, but like weird shit. They'd like move things in his house, like just to scare him and freak him out. And it was like the government doing it. So he seemed like a crazy guy.
Yeah, he sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so his name is Bob Lazar. You should totally check out. There's a documentary on Netflix. And then he's been on Joe Rogan and they kind of get into it and it's like, I don't know, man. Like there's so much, we live in a world where it's so easy for like the the wrong powers that may be to make those people just sound like crazy people and like, make them not like make the world not want to believe them, but we don't really live in a world where it's like someone's gonna be like, all right, here's my hard evidence for a UFO. Like now what do we do? Let's explore the galaxy.
I know. Well, who like released the footage? Wasn't it like the Navy SEALs or something?
Yeah.
Navy? I don't know. Yeah,
so somebody released like radar footage.
Yeah.
I saw there was another episode of Joe Rogan where one of the pilots themselves actually like came and he talked about it. He's like, it had been like 25 years.
Yeah.
But he talked about it was like a tic tac shaped object that was like on the sonar. Like they showed the radar. It was just weird stuff.
I mean, like, my like a couple friends, my sister and like her friends can like account to this, but we were camping like when I was like in 5th grade, something like that. We were watching a meteor shower up in Mirror Lake, up like Ariel, like Washington, and we were like all camped out. My dad was sleeping like in the tent, and like all of the girls and like my really good guy friend at the time was there, and we were watching like this meteor shower, and this like little like satellite looking thing like pops up, and it's like a not TikTok shape, like a Tic Tac shape. And it's like this like little pill looking like thing. And it was like, it would like go really fast and stop and like go the other direction and stop. Like it was like, oh, it must be a satellite. And we're like, what the fuck, are we crazy? And then all of a sudden it stops and like a bunch of them like come out of it.
What?
Yes. And like fucking like multiple people were there. All of my friends can say this happened.
That's the craziest thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, is it aliens? Like, I don't know. Like, are we fucking crazy? Was it satellites? Was it our government? Like, I don't know. But the way it was shaped and the direction it was going and how fast it was going, how close it was, it didn't look like a UFO, I guess, what I mean to say. But I'm like,
well, but think about the technology. Like, did it do things that like a plane or
we wouldn't have
helicopter
been able to
use?
do in 2005? No.
Yeah. See, that's like,
yeah.
Like, what if, even if it was like it's the Russian government testing their UFO or their new like technology or something. Yeah. Like even that is like just shows that the government's hiding technology from us, which is just a whole nother debacle of like, should the government or like people who are at the edge of like technology discovering all these new crazy shit, should they be telling the public? Like,
no.
Like, but okay, so if you worked for the government and you just like we had alien contact, like look at how we're fucking reacting to like a reality TV show being our president. Like we're not doing a reality TV show is our president or TV star.
Yeah, and it's like have other countries have contact, have had contact with aliens? Like they wouldn't share that now.
Yeah, they'd be like, don't tell America, they're crazy.
Yeah, they'd fucking freak out. Look at their people, they're freaking out.
Have you seen the movie Arrival?
Yes.
Dude, it's so good. But
dude, it's so good.
I feel like that's how it would be. Is we'd be like, how the fuck do we communicate with them?
We hope it's that way.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like fucking? What is a bad alien movie? Have you ever seen like the Tom Cruise alien movie when they come down and like fucking kill us all?
Is it like Mission Impossible?
Isn't it like what is it?
Oh, War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Yeah. And so I like that movie because I feel like I like
scary.
The teenage boy character, how he was just kind of like a fuck you dad sort of thing.
Yeah, and he's like, you're fucking dumb. But it was good.
That could be how it is though. Like,
but I really do think like if you watch the Unsolved Mystery episode, I really do think they're like studying us. They don't mean to hurt us. Like they were these people claim to be abducted and studied. They were mostly kids, and then they'd be like dropped down into they weren't hurt, like nothing. Like they remember like split seconds of being up there, but like nothing else. Right. Like their memory was erased. But I do think they're like studying us.
Yeah, maybe we just don't really fully understand. Like they could just be humans haven't been here for that long.
Have you ever watched? It's with Charlize Theron and it's about like they're gonna go find their creators. It has to do with like the alien movies.
No way, I haven't seen it.
I have to Google it because it talks about how aliens are like our creators. Prometheus.
Oh, Prometheus.
Have you ever seen that?
I have seen that actually.
In 2012.
Yes, that goes with the alien movies, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that until like the recent alien movie came out. But yeah, Prometheus, they like go to another world and they figure out like who created us. And like, what if like somebody else dropped us here?
I mean, we don't really know that. That's not
like
true.
I don't know, like the Big Bang Theory, like we all we all came from monkeys, like fucking what's his name?
Terrence McKenna. Are you talking about the stoned ape theory?
No, I'm talking about I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm drawing a blank. Well, we like some people teach this in school, some people don't, because it's like
controversial
with religion. Adapting. Evolution. Right. What's his name? Edit this out because I'm so fucking dumb.
No, I mean I don't remember.
What's his
either.
fucking name?
Who came up? Oh, Darwin. Theory of evolution.
Yes,
yeah.
Darwin.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
That took me too long too.
Dude, I know why, but like, if we believed in the theory of evolution, like that, yeah.
Well, dude, so I heard this thing the other day that actually made me think. I listened to this guy called Rupert Sheldrake. He's a philosopher, and he studies like he's got some very interesting like he thinks like he definitely thinks plants are conscious and these sort of things.
Yeah.
Thinks the sun is conscious, but so he was basically like he said this sentence that I was like, oh, wait, what? I never even thought about that before. He's like, we just assume that at the beginning of the Big Bang Theory, all of our like laws existed, like physics and time and like theory of gravity all existed. Like, we don't know that existed that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, we're just assuming that those things were all at play. And we pretty much start our base of what we know about the universe and what we know about our entire existence off, well, we assume there was an explosion, and then we just go from there.
Yeah, and because we can't comprehend it. We can't. And like, that's why we think that way. Also, like, fucking what the hell happened to dinosaurs? Like, what?
What the hell really happened to dinosaurs?
Like, did a meteor really come down and kill them all? No. Like,
I don't know. There's so much stuff when it comes to, have you heard of Graham Hancock?
no, geez, oh my God, you need to educate me.
He's another person who was on Joe Rogan, actually. And he gets to where, like, if you watch too many of his videos, you're like, oh, he's totally crazy. Like, but so much shit that he says just seems so true. Basically, he has, like, kind of proven in multiple ways that the timeline that we read in our history books and that, like, our government tells us is not totally true. Like, there was, like, he went to Egypt and, like took pictures and measured and, like, studied, like, the Sphinx and, like, the architecture that's in Egypt, and proved that, like, you know, certain amount of years ago, there was water running constantly underneath the Sphinx. Like, he's like, you can see the wear from it. This is what water does. Like, he proved it. It's like official, whatever. But he proved that, like, basically what we know about all of our, like, old timelines are different. Like, I think he has something that shows, like, the crater holes or I mean, it all sounds like nonsense for sure, but essentially he had kind of proven, like, the suddenness of the ice age. Like, it was very, like, weird and crazy how sudden, like, the ice age was. And I think that he had proven, I could be wrong on this, that there was, like, humans around during that.
No way.
I could be totally wrong, but Graham Hancock, you got to check him out. He was on Joe,
Okay.
but he's got his own, like, YouTube channel and stuff too.
Oh my God. I know. And there's, like, people claim, like, there's evidence of UFOs being, like, underground in Antarctica, like, you know, like, underground. That's like the War of the Worlds, whatever. They had their ships underground, or the energy sources underground.
They were there all along.
Yeah, they were there all along.
The pilots came out.
And it's like, you do wonder that there's, like, so many things, like, even in the, like, even, like, talking about the ocean, like, we only know so much about the ocean. We don't know about, like, what is it, like 70% we don't know about?
Yeah,
like the
that
ocean.
is such a crazy thing to us.
We know more about space than we do our oceans.
Yes.
That is fucking terrifying.
That's craziness.
That is, and people don't think about the shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Even in the theory that we all agree on is that technically we kind of came from the ocean, like, like, if we believe in evolution. Yeah, those
Which
giant things.
I do believe, because, like, science, right? Like, we have facts.
Yeah.
But it's like, how factual? I don't know.
I mean, there's so much stuff that makes sense, and there's so much stuff that it's so hard to stick to one thing. Like, I definitely believe in evolution. I don't think that we understand a lot of, like, there's some sort of aspect of evolution that has to have room for, like, spirit or, like,
higher power.
Like, I don't want to, like, just, like, boulder it and say, like
no, because I totally believe in evolution.
Yeah,
we all, like, came from fucking monkeys, like we did.
Yeah. Have you heard the Stoned Ape theory?
No.
Stoned Ape theory is, and I'm probably going to butcher this too. Again, it's on Joe Rogan. But essentially, like, that when we were monkeys, we started, like, climbing down out of trees for whatever reason, and we started, like, looking for food sources, and we started, like, of course, inevitably flipping over cow pies, and you find shrooms, and then essentially, like, the human consciousness was formed by excessive use of, like, psychedelics.
No way.
Yeah. And so, and there's way more elaborate about that too. I think there's some people who think that shrooms came from comets. Like, the first shroom came off of, like, a comet or, like, an asteroid rather. I forget at what point it's a comet or an asteroid. But and then, like, we stumbled upon those, and we're like, we ate, like, an alien species of a shroom, and that's what made us. Like, so that's, again,
you need to
who
have
knows?
this conversation with Jay, because she'll tell you about, like, psychedelics and, like, how it makes us more aware.
I had a Reiki session with her 2 weeks ago.
No way.
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, but it was, like, around the time.
Yeah, what
did you get out of it?
It was pretty cool. So we did it
Isn't
here.
it so relaxing? Oh, she did it at your house?
Yeah, so she came over and we did it. She just did a 30-minute session, and then, like, right away within 5 minutes we sat down and had a podcast convo. Oh my God. Like, because we just thought that would be cool. Like, I could try to. I was definitely stumbling over words. I was like, I felt like I was
so tired. Oh,
like,
God. Like,
but
yeah.
I had. It was good though. I had. Like, within the first 5 minutes, I had tears for sure. And I had a couple moments of, like, chills and like my physical body would kind of like vibrate and stuff. And of course they're all like correlated with like you kind of have thoughts come up and like kind of pass out almost like in a way, like you don't pass out, meaning like the thoughts come and it's not like you're like, oh, this is for sure this thing happening. You just kind of have like interesting like it's a healing thing. Like we had spoken afterwards and she talked to me. She's like, things with your father came up. And I, during, kind of had like a little bit of like kind of the thought about those sort of things. It's so interesting, like, because your brain just really wants to understand it. But mostly I was just like, I remained in disbelief and
you're shielding yourself from like, because like, you want to be skeptical a little bit.
Right.
You're like, because she is my really good friend. So I want to be a little bit skeptical. But like she knows things about my life. She knows things about you. Like she knows you. But like when she does touch you, like you do feel like sensations and like thoughts different. It's like unexplainable.
Yeah.
Like I know what you're saying.
No, it truly is. And it's it's very interesting to like, she'd be at my feet and I would feel like my right arm would get chills,
like warmth in a certain space. I'd feel like the warmth, I think. Or like where the crystals were, or like where I was hurting.
What have your experiences been with?
I've only done Reiki once with her. Like we did like an hour session, and like I was just feeling like vibration, like warmth in certain areas. She got like a bunch of personal things out, but it was mainly like I think it had to do with like my breast implants, like how I was like healing still, like and just like things I've been struggling with like my dad also.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting. I think that our brains are always looking for something to like help us out, right? Like we're always
a
like
release.
And I think, I mean, it's still, it's nudging up against my beliefs. Like it's still so new to me. And I talked with her about that too. And she's so cool. And she's such a great teacher when it comes to that stuff. But like, the way I see it is, it's like acupuncture. If you're going to go like, why not try it and experience it and see if like if you feel better after? I want to try it actually.
It's so
but
good.
Yeah, have you done it more than once?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like?
I used to do it in Hawaii because I used to have really bad restless leg syndrome. I don't know why I only had it in Hawaii. I had it severely. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna go get something done. I was like, I'm gonna do acupuncture because I had it covered with insurance, and like it really did help with my restless leg syndrome.
So cool.
Yeah, and it's just relaxing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think just being vulnerable, like in that state, like whether it's a massage or whether it's whatever, like there's no other time in our life where you would like do that, really.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a personal.
Have you ever been to like a medium?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Yeah, you need to do that.
I should.
That's like the craziest experience I've ever had. I'm going to one next week.
Oh, no shit.
I'm going to the same one. I've already seen her once.
Is this something that you share, or is this something that you keep to yourself? Like, is it?
Oh, I share it.
Okay. What was your first experience like?
I've only seen one person. I've only seen her once. I'm seeing her next week. But I was dating a guy at the time, and I brought him to the reading, and she like wants to know your name, but she doesn't find out the other person's name. And I was like kind of skeptical. I'm like, okay, like maybe she like Googled me, like whatever. My dad's like death was all over the internet, so I was like, maybe like she knew about him prior because she's from Woodland. She lives up like up river somewhere. And she just knew so many details about him and like how he died and like how he felt when he died and like who was struggling in the family. Because I have 3 sisters, and she was like, you have 3 siblings or 2 siblings, but there's 3 of you. And I was like, yeah. She was like the middle one struggling the most. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like my middle sister, my older sister. And I was like, okay, yeah, I could see that. And she like had these details of like where I played outside, like in my childhood. Like she's like, your dad planted a cherry tree in your backyard. And I was like, okay, yeah, he did. That was fucking weird.
Wow, yeah.
Because she was talking about like, because he died in a plane crash, and she was like, he died instantly. And I was like, yeah, I think so. And like I was like, maybe she had Googled that. And I was like, I'm like skeptical, so I'm like trying not to give her like.
You wouldn't know about a cherry tree though.
Yeah, and she was like, because we had like 2 acres growing up, and he was like. He planted a cherry tree, and he did. And like with cherry trees, I think you have to plant 2 because they can't survive without one or like each other. And so it died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I asked my mom later on, but she was like, yeah. And like, he struggled with it. And I was like, oh yeah. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what it looked like, but it was like this random ass plant in the middle of our yard. And I was like, I remember that. And she's like, we used to play around it a lot. And I was like, yeah, I did. That's so weird. And she moved on to like, there's like little things that she said that he's with me and like all this stuff. I was like skeptical. She moved on to like the guy I was dating at the time. And he raced motocross and his friend had passed away like when he was like 15. And he had like this necklace on under his, like, she didn't know his name prior to this, like anything. He had his friend's necklace on. He like wears his like clothes and stuff. And she's like, you're struggling with a friend of yours that passed away. And he like wasn't giving her anything. I didn't really know, like I knew of his friend, but I didn't really know like if it was like connecting to him. And she's like, you're wearing his necklace right now. And like, he fucking turned white.
Bro,
like,
that's crazy.
I'm like, bro, I'm like, okay. And he was like,
nuts.
yeah. And like, he's skeptical too, but like, he's really open to that stuff. But he was like, what? Like, what is happening? He had the necklace on. And I was like, what is going on? And she was just like giving him like advice. And it was like so genuine and so sweet. Right. It was like, it was beautiful. I cried.
Wow. That's like such an incredible, like like all cultures have always had some sort of like shaman or, you know, like healer or wise knower, sage. You know, I mean, our society outside of religion, we don't really have like a place for that person. And I think that person is still like maybe we can't fully comprehend what they know. Yeah. But they know things that we don't.
Some religions like are against like mediums and like things like that. Yeah, like readers, just because like they think like it's devil work. And it's sad because like she gave me like peace a little bit. Yeah, honestly, I'm like, if I go next week, I'm like, hopefully she gives me some fucking advice, like what should I do with my life, like I don't know. She's just a good like person to be around, atmosphere. I'm like, even if she gave me like advice, I'd be up for it, but I don't know how much she's gonna tell me, but I don't know.
Oh, that's so interesting. I feel like I would go. I would definitely go.
Oh my God, I'm gonna give you her number. She's so amazing, and she has like horses, and she's just really relaxing.
She's a horse girl?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's like older. It's different.
It's different.
Yeah, it is.
It's funny, the horse girl joke. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never been to a medium. I mean,
I've been to others, and I've been really weird about like I don't know how much I believe you. You know.
Yeah. I mean, again though, we're always searching for like a truth. Like, is that for sure true or not? And it's kind of like there's not really like one underlying truth about everything. I don't think. I think it's like, does it resonate with you?
Yeah, it has to be like, how open are you?
Yeah, like don't, you know, like if it can project you into, if it could give you answers that like seem to kind of fit the puzzle pieces in your head that you've been kind of going through, and you're like, oh wow, okay, this person sees a different perspective on my situation than I do, and you could follow it and it makes your life a little bit better. Like, man, why not?
Yeah,
why not? I listened to Abraham Hicks. She's a channeler, so her name is Esther Hicks, but the entity that enters is Abraham Hicks. And it's pretty intense. You know, that's more of like the immediate like channels and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's profound information. Like a lot of times, like I'll be listening to it and it's like 15, 20 minutes long, and there'll be like one sentence out of the whole thing that just like jumps at me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to hear that. You know, that's always empower anybody. Like whatever kind of like feels like it's interesting to you, whatever is kind of you're intuitively like, I want to try that out. Like, who cares what everybody else thinks? Like, who cares what's like, you know, right? Like
I know.
The one truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you believe in like past lives?
I don't know. I haven't explored it too much. I mean, it's, you know, where the way that I have an understanding of like what human consciousness is like, of course we're reoccurring. Like, of course I believe in like some level of consciousness reincarnation.
Yeah.
But I don't know like how we would hold on to the memory of our past lives.
Well, I mean, I don't think most of us do.
Do you think that it's something everybody has access to though? Like through the Akashic records and stuff?
Yeah. Or? I mean, yeah, if we're aware of it and we open ourselves up to it.
Yeah.
But shit, I don't know.
You were talking about, you did the past life regression. Did you?
This is like new to me. Like how do you experience, like when you experience deja vu, like how do you feel? When I experience deja vu?
Yeah.
Explain to me.
For me, it's this sudden questioning, like, have I been here before? And then it's like, have I already relived this sort of thing? But I feel like also for some reason I've also
in our heads.
Yeah, it's just in your head.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I also wonder, like, have I like dreamt it before? Like, is like my mind like preparing myself for this kind of situation? Like I try to find like a reasonable like explanation for it, but I also wonder if like we've known that person in the past. Have you ever like connected so hard to somebody? You're like, I know them I've known them. Like the minute you meet them, you're like, I know this person. Like, why do I like know this person so well?
Yeah, I mean, I have that, but for me, it's
like just being comfortable.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's selfishly it's like I can fully be myself with this person. It's like it's where it comes right back to me. Yeah,
I'm like why is that? Do I connect with them so well? And
like they're an old friend or something.
Yeah, like the minute I meet them, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, have I met you before? But I don't know. Yeah, I tried the whole like trying to remember my past life, but. Yeah. I'm like so skeptical. Like I'm like I don't know about that stuff yet. So
of course, I mean it's hard to just
shielded
because I've done like hypnotism, like I've done like hypnotherapy and stuff, and I've done like
I want to do that.
Like those situations. I could send you a couple. Marissa Peer, she seemed to be a pretty good one for me. It's just like very nice the way she talks. It was very trusting. But with hypnotherapy, you kind of do go back into those like memories that you didn't even realize were there. Like,
yeah,
like I'm like, oh, like I guess I knew that was kind of a memory, but I never knew it meant anything to me. And it's and she'll be like, you know exactly the memory it is, you know exactly what time of day like you know the temperature outside, like those sort of things, and you just kind of like populate back, and you really do find yourself thinking of that exact. You're like,
that's what I did last night. So like he like goes through like this. He's like, you're gonna remember like a childhood memory. And like I was remembering little details of this like random childhood memory. I remembered like we were on like a 4-wheeler, and like there was like a slit in like the four-wheeler seat. I was like, why do I remember that? What the fuck? And then like I remember like my dad used to like turn off the 4-wheeler to like cruise down to be quiet. And like I just never thought about that. So like he makes you open your eyes to like little details.
Yeah.
And like I was like, I'm wondering if I listen to this for longer, like how much I could open.
Right.
I was like 6 or 7 at the time. So I'm like,
how did you feel like scared at all? Like when you were doing
my God. So
did you feel scared?
I couldn't sleep last night. So I was listening to this, and I was like,
well, fucking no wonder you couldn't sleep last night. You're terrified about past lives.
I was like listening to that fucking stupid, scary podcast, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna listen to like past life stuff. I was like, oh my God, I'm so woke. I was like 2 a.m. couldn't sleep. Woke. And I was like, I'm just going to like listen to my past life. And like, I kept like seeing like images in my head, like fucked up images. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even know what this is about. Like, I'm fucking weird, dude. Like,
I'm with you. I do all the same shit. Now you're having intrusive alien thoughts?
Yes. I'm like, fucking abduct me. Like, study me.
Check me out.
Yeah. I want to know. Like, drop me off later, but like, tell me what's wrong with me. Also, like what's up? Like, I want to see you. Like, want to see what you look like.
Yeah. Like, if there's going to be a huge abduction, like, say they take.
It won't be huge. They'll take a few. Have you ever watched The Fourth Kind?
No, I don't think so.
It's like a scary movie. You need to watch that later.
The Fourth Kind.
Yeah.
Is it scary or suspenseful?
I mean, both. It's not scary to some people, but it's like suspenseful enough to spook you. But it's about like alien abductions. They think it's alien abductions, but in Juneau, Alaska, like you have to like fly there or fly to get to this town, I guess. I'm not sure how it goes, but like random people have gone missing, and like they all went to the same counselor because it was a small town, and they were all having the same nightmares.
Oh fuck, that's weird,
dude. Yeah, and like
imagine being that counselor, you'd be like,
and eventually the counselor's like little girl got kidnapped, and she's never been found, and they think that she's crazy, like whatever. Dude, she like I don't know how real this fucking movie is, but like I believe in this stuff. I'm like, dude. Fucking alien abductions. They were like reading, like going into their mind and like making you crazy.
I mean, what if, okay, so Elon Musk says that we are organic bootloaders for AI. He says sentences like that, which is like, oh fuck. Like, so what if we are like, we kind of are the alien thing? Mm-hmm. Like it's just like humans, what humans grow into like in the future.
Yeah.
But like when we grow into that, it's this is such a thought experiment. This might sound so crazy, but
I love it.
what if like what we grow into is actually kind of like aliens? Like we grow into like our understanding of what that is. Yeah. It's not that we become something different than we are. It's just that evolution keeps doing what evolution does.
Yeah. And
we grow into like an understanding of like different dimensions and different versions of consciousness and different like the forms are what we see in our like because we see physical form in our five senses, but maybe aliens. That's
like watching like The Matrix or like. Do you ever watch Rick and Morty?
I love Rick and Morty.
Oh fuck, I love Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty's the dopest.
Like to get high and watch Rick and Morty. But what's another like glitch in the Matrix type thing? Like Interstellar.
Yeah.
Interstellar.
That was an incredible movie.
There was Radio Rental, the podcast. Okay, let me tell you this fucking story.
Man.
Okay. I don't know how good I'm going to tell it. You can edit this out. But this girl, like this guy and this girl, they just moved to New York. It's like 2011, 2010, whatever. They're like fucking hyped up. They moved to a new city. They're like, they have jobs, going to college, whatever. They go to like an engagement party. They get drunk, like not that drunk. They like go home, like sleep. He like wakes up at noon. His girlfriend's not there. It's not that weird because like she has a crazy job. She goes into meetings and stuff, whatever. He's like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to make some breakfast, make coffee, go out for a smoke. He's like in New York City, like Manhattan or something like that. He's like downtown. He's like smoking a cigarette. He hears like heels coming towards him. It's his girlfriend. She like shoves him. She's yelling at him. She's like, fuck you. Can't believe you would do that to me. And he's like, the first thing I noticed, she was wearing like some fucking crazy ass outfit. Like she had like clubbing clothes on. And he's like, it's noon. He's like, what are you wearing? He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, what did I do? Like, I'm so like, what do you mean? Like, he's like so confused. She's like going up. She's like walking past him, going to the door, typing in the code, the code to the building. Goes in. She has a purse. He's like following her. He's like, what did I do? And she's like, you know, you fucking did. She's like mad at him, whatever. She takes out a set of keys, like unique set of keys, opens up the door. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And she's packing up her shit. She's like, I'm fucking leaving you. We're breaking up. Like everything was great like the night before. Like they were so happy. He's like, it was like the highlight of our life. Like they were so happy to be in a new city. And he's like, what the fuck? Did you like did you go through my phone? Like did you like misunderstand something? And she packs like a bag of like a bunch of clothes. And she like picks up a plant, like throws out the TV, breaks the plant, whatever, leaves. He follows her. She gets in a cab, drives away. He's on the street and he's like, my girlfriend just broke up with me. What the fuck? 4 seconds later, his girlfriend's like wrapped around his like waist. He feels like a woman wrapped around his waist. 4 seconds later, after she gets in the cab, and he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, who is this? And it's his girlfriend. Different clothes, like hunky dory, like in a great fucking mood. And she's like, true story. And she's like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? She's like, I just got off work. Like, blah, blah, blah. And he like doesn't say anything. And he's like, and she's like, what's going on with you?
How can you make sense of like even like, telling that somebody love?
Yeah. And he's like thinking to himself, and he's like, am I like, do I have to like put myself in an insane asylum? Like, am I schizophrenic? And like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like as I'm listening to this, he has nothing to gain by like telling the story. He's not telling his name. He's not like telling like much detail. And he's like, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go see if the apartment's fucked up. So he runs up to the apartment. The door's like slightly cracked and everything is like broken. And he's like, okay, I'm not crazy. It happened. Yeah. He's like, but what if I did that? He's like, what if I did that? Or that's what I thought. I was like, what if he like fucking did that? He opened the door with the keys because he remembers specifically her opening the door with the keys. Right. Because he said he locked the door like to go get a smoke. And she's like, the girlfriend comes in, she's like bawling. She's like, did we get robbed? Like, what's going on? Like, what the fuck? They look at the security tapes, and there was a girl that looked identical.
No,
dude,
on the security tapes.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
Fucked up.
Wait, okay.
A glitch in the Matrix.
How long ago was this? What was this one?
2011, 2010.
Oh, man.
And like it was like CCTV or whatever. So like you couldn't really like, it was exactly what he described. He was like, this girl came in, she had a fucking set of keys. Like she opened the door. I didn't open the door for her.
Yeah, well, she knew the code too, you said.
Yeah. So they saw that. So like it's like because they called the cops, her dad was like a cop or something like that. And they, cause she was like, were you cheating on me? Was this a girl that had a key? Like, yeah. And what happened? Like the cops did fingerprints cause like it was her dad that did it. Right. And the only fingerprints that were on the door was the girlfriend and the boyfriend.
That's so fucking crazy. Like, what do you What if that was the only interaction you ever had like that, and like the rest of your life, you're just like, hopefully that doesn't happen again.
I know. And it's like, I was like, maybe the girlfriend's crazy, but like how, because he's like, she was in a cab when the other happy girlfriend walked up. He's like, I could see the cab. He's like, I don't know. There's no way she could have snuck out of the cab. And he went to like a psychology I don't even know what like a professor. And he was like, it was like a glitch in the matrix. Like it could be like overlapping realities. And I was like, there's no way. How? It's like, why is this the first story I've heard? I don't know. I'm just like, I believe him because he's so genuine when he tells the story. He's not gaining anything by telling the story.
Right. Well, it's like I was saying with that Bob Lazar guy. Like, it's like, it doesn't make his life better to say, hey, I saw aliens. Because like, imagine like having to live the rest of your life. Like a majority of people think you're crazy.
Yeah. He's like, I told like 5 people the story and they're like, bro, you're fucking weird. But it's a cool story, but you're weird. Yeah. And he's like, he was so sad. Yeah. He legitimately thought he was crazy.
I mean, you would never be able to forget about that.
Also, like, I would question my like sanity. I'd be like, am I crazy? Like, or is my girlfriend crazy? Like,
or somebody playing tricks on me.
Does she have an evil twin sister?
Dude, this is what I think about. Like, okay, think about dudes like Kanye West. The poor guy, like,
oh my God, I feel so bad for him. I want to give him a hug so bad.
I know. I wish I could hug him too. Like right now, of course, it's just going through it for sure. But like, I remember I was listening to an interview and he was like, he was sensible in the interview. He's like, I honestly thought that like people were putting brain microchips in my head. Like he was like thinking those level of things. But imagine if you see one crazy alien weird situation like that, the rest of your life, you're going to be like, cool, that's probably fucking real. Like,
oh my God.
How do you determine between your intrusive thoughts and your like regular thoughts?
Also,
your memories and
like if you see something crazy like that, you're going to be like, everything's fucking fucked up crazy.
Yeah. Like, are you the alien version of my girlfriend or, well, maybe God, I don't know. Maybe we just don't understand our reality as much as we think we do.
I mean, I don't know. Like, but maybe I don't know. I went on Reddit because I was like, I need to like.
That's where you get the answers.
That's how I get the answers. Like, yeah, true crime. Like, if you ever want to like learn about true crime stories, I go on Reddit. But they're like, maybe she had a girl that looked like her that took advantage of the situation because it was 2011. I have no idea.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But like, the professor he went to, if you listen to the podcast, it makes more sense than I explain it. But he's like, I understand it. It's like overlapping realities. But I was like, I don't know how much of that I believe. I like made my sister listen to it last night and she was like, I don't know. Like, he does sound genuine, but.
Okay, which one's that one more time? I think I want to listen to that one.
Radio Rental.
Radio Rental.
Episode 2. Like there's a couple stories in each episode. So
yeah,
there's like this like.
I like those too because I feel like they've been doing a good job. I don't know if they did it on this one, but they like on the Spotify, like those like short stories they tell like that. They do like a lot of cool like sound effects.
Oh my God,
like,
it makes you so scared. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I listened one on the way and I was like so terrified. I was like, oh my God. It was about mental illness, but like that's very explainable. Right. But I'm just it's so scary. It's so sad. Yeah, some stories are scary and like you can't explain, but some are just like sad. Tragic. Right.
I mean, I enjoy just learning about them because I love that edge of like our knowledge where we're like flipping the switch off and on of like, dude, do I believe this or not?
I know.
I love that.
Me
like,
too.
I think it's so cool.
It helps with my anxiety. I'm like, relaxed.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're exploring because you kind of, what you end on is kind of this like comfort in not knowing. You're like, hey, I really don't know. And it's kind of a reminder of like, I don't really know a lot of this stuff. Like, life is so crazy in so many different layers. Like, you can't know all the truths and all the reality, So
true.
Or is it?
I don't know.
Or is it?
So sweet.
We're getting up here pretty well in time, my friend.
Okay.
I got to take a leak, so.
Oh my God, so do I.
Well, it's about that time. So let's send them off. I appreciate you talking about aliens and UFOs and alternate realities and breast implants and
politics, sadly. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I started us out with the mask, so it was a great combo, though. I appreciate you coming on and talking about it. Can we just send off one little just piece of advice like that, maybe through like the breast implant situation that you've learned? Like, because I always say, so Shaylee always says, think about what would young Jake, like 16-year-old Jake, what would he need to hear? Like, what would be some shit that would help him at 16? So what do you have for like younger people who are like, oh, I want to get breast implants or I want to?
I mean,
change my body.
Yeah, if I could tell my younger self, I would just be like, health is wealth. No, health is most important. And just like, I don't know, it's cliche, but love your body how it is. Sad, but
it's yours,
It's yours, yeah.
And it's
if you cut yourself open, you can't take it back, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
To know that.
Well, I really appreciate you coming here and sharing such a personal story. Like, of course, like especially when you had to go through, mental things. Like it's all horrific. It's all terrible to have to go through like these pains and stuff. But it's hard to speak about when you went through like mental health stuff. So I really appreciate you coming to talk about that, Rikki.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Listener, take care of yourself. Stretch, drink some water, do some Pilates, do some yoga, do something. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Ahoy, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Whatever app you're on, if you don't mind just hitting follow or share or review or star or heart or whatever it is on the app, just interact with it. Just share it with somebody. Just give me a review. Give me something. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys take the time to listen to anything that me or anybody that I know has to say. It's fantastic. Also, whatever you're doing right now, just get present. Don't let yourself just keep listening to a bunch of other podcasts. Don't let yourself just do a bunch of more YouTube videos. Get outside and stretch. Go start working on that thing that you want to be working on. Start chipping away at your dreams. Just do 10 minutes of it. Just get present. Follow your heart. See you later. See you next episode next week. Peace out.
Reality is